Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Mary Sky Ridley's video blog of Mary Sky. I have a couple updates for you. That's an interesting one this morning. It is 66 degrees and a little too toasty in the ground. The ground's probably a close 25 degrees hotter. I was hoping to stay out on a little lawn chair out there, in the thingy. Of course, I did talk to a couple people about some problems. All right, one is I talked to the DCR, which is useless, but at the same time, he can't do anything. He basically refuses, and he refuses to deal with Chloe. That's the funniest thing in the world. You could sit there and say, "Oh, what's wrong with Chloe?" I'll tell you. Hold on a sec. So this morning I talked to this person, right? She turns around and what he said to me was, "You got to file a restraining order." And I said, "Well, there's the only other options." He said, "No, and the options are dead, and the options are too dead." So basically, he said this due to the fact that there's nothing that can be done. Chloe knows it's coming down the pipe, but Chloe doesn't think anything of it. So it's the only way to split Chloe from sucking my life. But he also was talking about other issues too. So, anyways, the latest news today is the Supreme Court overturned gun control. You know, I mean, people are like, "Oh yes, all this, we got what we wanted." Really, now they can basically murder. See, I think the government is basically allowing people to be killed, literally. I mean, to me, I think that's what's happening. So basically, my thing so basically, there's several news articles today which were interesting. Is there's a guy. So basically, this guy turned around and said he's not gonna. Hold on. So basically, they're bitching about something. Okay, so the Supreme Court did rule. No one knows how it's gonna work down. So I think what they're gonna do is. Okay, hold on. So. See, they don't make sense at all what this means exactly. They're just like, "Oh yeah, we got guns, we got more guns coming," but the gun sales are, but that's just like the tip of the iceberg. No one true knows what this means. It means, do you need to pack heat? I mean, I was talking to someone yesterday about being stolen. Hold on. Let's see. So basically, this one here is talking about, digital print. So this is what they're trying to show to enforce abortions. How the government's gonna, who's gonna get targeting. So they want to prosecute people for abortions. Can you believe that? I mean, what type of hootenanning is that, So that's the latest news we got right now, is the fact, it's kind of funny, on that aspect. So, they're like, oh, what's this law mean for such and such? How's this law, So, anyways, I told Higgins and the rest of you guys I was going to get on here for a couple minutes. I'm actually about to log off today, and it's cough time with Rita. I got a couple things to share. It's a slow night, It's really a slow night, Pee Wee messaged me, bless her heart. Pee Wee messaged me today, and she literally she was a sweetheart, She said, don't worry about the pillow thing. I offered to pay her back. So, anyways, one of the things I wanted to share with you that I thought was really cool is I'm going to be watching some reviews on a few things, and you know, you know, yeah. So basically, one of the things is like I said, I got up really, I was really in a bad mood today, because of the whole the guy's basically weed whacking. He gets hit in the wall with the weed whacker. It's like I'm thinking to myself, Chris literally could do a better job at weed whacking than this guy. Hell, I was thinking Higgins too. I mean, all of a sudden, I'm like to myself, thinking, what the hell is this guy's problem? And you know, so my dad, of course, he was the hell. I was looking at freaking comments. See, I hate this. Okay. So basically, one of the things I want to tell you guys is I'm starting to get really upset at a few things. So Chloe today, right, turns around, and I called up. The guy told me to check in, right, and he was unhappy. He's like, "Well, you can't do anything." Literally. So basically, he's telling me I can't do anything unless I do three options, right? That's it's like, Chloe gets mental help. Chloe's like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not wearing a gown. I mean, literally, back in the day, they would have fucking detained her, but now it's like, I don't know. Then on top of that, right? My neighbor, right, turns around and she says to me, uh, she says to me, uh, don't be surprised if there's something clipped to your door, right? Like $50, 20 to $50 bill. She went off 100, and I was like, no, no, I'm okay, you know. She wasn't the only one targeting, you know. But now, I'm hoping debit cards don't get stolen, you know. My debit card doesn't get stolen. I don't want to freaking keep going to the bank either. One of those months where everything's gonna go down the toilet, I think, you know, it's gonna really suck, you know. But anyways, I told Chloe basically to pack up, you know. I'm not gonna basically deal with Chloe's you know, I'm not gonna complain. I just said to Chloe, you know, she needs to take a hike. She didn't like it. She's like, why should I leave? Because I said so, you know. We're having a sluggish day, it seems. For some damn reason, the entire internet's wonky, maybe? Let me check my channel. Yeah, it's like coffee time with Rita, and it's, I don't know what's going on in it. It seems like everything's deader than a mackerel, you know? Yeah, so, anyways. So I guess today's one of those slow ass days, you know, for being, you know, in the evening. Higgins emailed me today. Other news, he emailed saying his Social Security claims 56%, and he's at 215 days or something, you know. He says, oh, 215 days, you know. Takes a, I think what they're saying is the average is 215 days, but 215 days is like, what, 6 months? You know, or 9 months or something. It's 365 days, yeah, something like that. 7 months, some 8 months. I think I said it would be like October the way it's running, something like that. I was telling that to Higgins the other day. You know, he was I don't know, emailed me today, and he's like, "Woot, look, my TV," you know. So you know, the question we're gonna tackle today is this whole concealed carry thing, right? How does it affect it? I mean, last night I was talking to the opposite, right? Funny story. Today she emails me and she says, you just talked about it. Now I got to research it, you know, because how does that affect the state of, you know? Well, let's see if there's anything on it. Let me see. So apparently, doesn't say anything about this. Hmm. What does Dianne Feinstein say about this? It says, Dianne Feinstein. Oh, here we go. By striking down a century-old New York law requiring proper cause to carry a concealed weapon, the Supreme Court's conservative majority has weakened gun safety laws in 8 states covering a quarter of the U.S. population. The decision has put lives at risk and should have deep concern to everyone. No, not really. If California's got strict laws, they should shoot it down. I can see Pee Wee packing heat next to. Oh. Similar case in California and 6 other states. I actually agree that bars should not be a place to carry a gun. You get inebriated, you might have a crappy reflux and you're dead. And churches aren't allowed either. You know. We must do more to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people, not less. Decision is in the wrong direction. Actually, I have some thoughts about the gun choices today, and I would like to discuss it. Well, besides pretty crappy, Gabby, I got a couple things I want to share with you. There's something, Moppy's in the other room. There's something I want to share with you all before I continue with this whole gun thing. You know, it's a great victory for gun owners. Well, let me just tell you guys something since Gabby's here. So today, I get up out of bed late, right? Been moody all day. The heat's been, it's like 66 in here. It's like a blast furnace because, I got the windows open, everything else cooling the place down, but still. No, I got up at 3 hours of sleep, Gabby. Dude, the freaking guy weed whacking, kept weed whacking, was looking in my window. I finally opened the window and he's like, what do you want? And I said, you like looking into my window? And he's like, I'm like, finally just weed whack somewhere else, but he kept whacking the walls and everything where I'm next to my, see, as well as I do, Gabby, I sleep in my living room, and I have it always been for years, like my husband did. And so what happened was he's weed whacking the wall and I wake up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this, and Chloe's in taking a shower, right, just draining a hot water tank, and so I get done. Hold on a sec. Hey, Chloe. So, anyways, Chloe turns around today, right? Gabby. And you wouldn't believe what she did. She said to me, I deleted an email. I read it and then I deleted it. Or you don't need it. And I said, well, who was it from? Was it important? Oh, it was just Lexi. You can tell Tara, Jay, and look, Gabby, when you see her, that it basically said they're happy. They got a cooter and they got breast implants and blah, 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 And I'm like, really? Yeah, so I deleted it. You don't need that people in your life, Apparently the taxpayers paid for it before they took it away. So Moppy's fine, the bunny's fine. The bunny's has got a carrot. I broke a carrot up for him. Found out we have celery, so I can actually dip celery and cut celery up tonight, put it in zip bags. So I'm gonna the last night's dinner was really sucky. I'll tell you what happened last night. Right? Chloe goes and cooks up all the. Well, you said it yourself. She uses people, right? I mean, literally. Thought you were on Tara J's side. I mean, literally. I mean, I've heard rumors going around. There's 2 types of rumors. One is, you know. Well, yeah, but the thing is isn't it? I mean, that's not wonderful in my opinion. My opinion is they messaged me after Tara J and you started talking to me. Chloe's got this gut feeling that You know, she basically is dangling the carrot out there, and Chloe's like, I'm not allowing that, because, they just message out of the blue, and Chloe's like, no, now if it was advocates or something, it's a different story. She'd leave it alone, but you know, she, she literally said not, the thing is she, I don't get it, but you said you thought you didn't support her, I thought you were with Tara J or something, then Chloe just deleted it, but I got enough problems with Chloe as is, I told Higgins I'm on. Hmm. Can't believe I'm still working with him on his Social Security claim. Someone smashed that like up. That's the thing. I mean, Tara J. I thought Tara J. would, I don't understand. That's the thing. I mean, I thought you and Tara J. said, she's, the thing is, the surgery doesn't. Most of the doctors don't give you sensate, you just pee out of it, it just depends on who you are. But we're not here about transgender issue, we're about today's news. So they're trying to crucify Trump. Poppy, my father-in-law, sent me a link to a video thing the other night I was watching. Apparently asked me about it, last night, so we talked about it. And apparently Rick DeSantis wants Donald Trump to be prosecuted so then he can move in and take the lead because he thinks he can do Donald Trump's job better. Well, I thought like I said, I thought you were against her. That's the thing. You're like, oh, she only contacts if she wants something, I think she wanted like facial fem or something. Well, it's about time you came in, Chris. Where have you been? What happened? I pissed you off again, brother? So what's new, Chris, little boy? Pee-wee told me not to worry about those pillows, they're so comfortable. I sleep like a baby. But today I woke up because some damn dipshit was using a weed whacker. Oh, well, how is Granny? She's got my prayers. Bladder tuck? Okay. Well, at least it's something. So with me, I've been just doing some research on stuff off and on, Chris, talking about the gun laws, the new news came out, they overturned it, they're still waiting for Roe versus Wade, I saw the funniest meme today. Yeah, well, I basically think like Tara J, sorry to say, she basically contacted me and, she's trying to use me, There's a lot of people out there that use me a lot for things. What do you think I don't talk about facial surgery? Where to go? What do you think I don't talk about lower surgery, breast surgery? I mean, you do know that, Lexi, that I said it time and time again. They give you breast implants, but they're not willing to upgrade your breast implants. If they leak, you're good as dead. That's one thing the government does not care for. Now, well, that's even sorry. So good to know you're okay. Your grandma's got my prayers, Chris. Pee Wee was asking, I think the other day where you were. That or Higgins, Zoe's not been on for a couple days. Or yeah, I think Zoe was on yesterday, maybe. I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, we're talking about prepping, I haven't checked the pricing out today. I should do that real quick, see if anything's changed. I have it all set to in my buy again page, so I did upgrade my birthday present, my birthday list, by the way. My birthday's coming up, so I updated my Amazon wish list today. Let's see. Coffee went up $3. Whoa. And my other coffee went up $3 more. Damn, coffee went up in price? You gotta be kidding me. Only 12 left in stock? Yeah, right. Now, when you do get it, the entire box is crushed. Toilet paper went up in price again. Anyways, let me see what else that I use. Coffees went through $3 each per pack. Dog food went up again. Holy crap. Those raviolis are sold out. Damn. But remember what I said. Food stamps come in between the 1st and the 15th, apparently. So everyone's going to be sucking up everything yet again. So you just got to be careful. Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, The thing is, Gabby, is that Lexi basically, Chloe's got a gut feeling on certain things. I trust her gut on both things. And when she said, "Oh, she was about to use you again, probably for facial surgery," I mean, literally, the point is I'm not here to help people. That's the thing. I won't help anyone because the transgendered clinics, they're not getting paid right now due to the fact of, supposedly Section 1557 was dissolved. But then again, I don't know. So to me, I just have no clue what's going on. I can tell you, it's just. But anyways, one of the things I want to talk about today is I got to email the manager again. Like I said, Chloe was having a pain in the butt problem today with attitude. She's climbed upstairs and she was screaming and yelling and thinking I want to give her laptop to a supposed rapist that supposedly assaulted her. I mean, you know what they say, the shoe fits where but thing is, she's done everything she can. She's even threatened my advocates. That's why they don't talk to me. I mean, literally, that's roommate. Yeah, it's just been busy. And then on top of this, since Chris and Gabby haven't heard this, I better tell you the story yesterday. This was really bad last night, okay? Yesterday, I got to tell you the story. So yesterday, I turned around yesterday morning. Good Lord God told me to check my bank account. I was telling this to Dad last night. He's like, "Oh, really?" So what happened was I didn't get any. I don't know if I did a YouTube yesterday. I don't think I did. Oh yeah, I did. It was less than an hour. But anyways, it had to do with con mans and stuff, right? But the story goes, I checked my bank account, and it's like someone cleaned my bank account out. So I'd call the bank, get the bank to give me a new card, and etc. And they're investigating. They said, get in touch with the sheriff. So I contacted the sheriff. Had a nice conversation with the sheriff. She emailed me today, by the way. She said everyone in the police department is curious about my prediction because I told her last night that they're going to overturn the gun laws in the next 24 hours. She said, "Oh, yeah, right, right." So anyway, my bank account was clean. I got a new bank coming. The bank's investigating the fraud. The sheriff turns around, and first thing she does, she emails me last night. She says, "Oh, I don't know if you know this, but here's what I found. The boat, you know, the boat that my card was used on, it was like Washington State Ferry, the galley." I said, "Oh, yeah, I was running around the island, right?" She emails me and she said, "No, it's from 60 miles away on the Mukilteo Clinton side. So unless they drove from a skimmer, someone actually made a copy of my debit card. That's what happened because she said they're investigating the skimmer that cleaned out my neighbor's card. Trish, she's a Jehovah's Witness. She's a nice lady. She offered me like $20 or $50. She said, "Oh, I'll put it on your door." She asked me last night about if I could spare Showtime and Paramount. And I was like, "Yeah, sure. You were getting my money's worth. I don't mind." She watched up everything at Disney. She watched everything she wanted at HBO. And she watched everything she wanted at Stars. But anyway, so she turns around, and the sheriff's a girl, and she emails me, and she says the boat's 60 miles away going from Uncle Teal to Clinton. 60 miles away. And it was you. So she said, now we got to get Snohomish County Sheriff involved in Island County Sheriff. Island County is Woodby Island because Clinton's out of Woodby Island. So now they got to investigate, about my card, So in this day and age with pandemics, as I told Trish last night, there's too many useless, lazy people that don't want to work that want to fucking screw people over on their disability. So, anyways, my husband used to carry this little container, one time that basically is a special device. I should order one. So basically, my card was last my money was taken. So the bank said it would take 90 days to get it back. But this morning the bank calls me and says, "Well, we got the sheriff's report. You did file like we requested. They said that your card wasn't used on the Inter Island ferry or the ferry on, because see what happened was the sheriff went over to the bank directly this morning. The guy, one of the friends I know that's there, he turned it in, said this is for your guys' record for Miss Rita's account, and gave the information and everything. The manager put it into scanned it and faxed it over to the investigation department. So they contacted me. I had like two banks call me, the main local branch, said they're working on it. They can't believe that it was 60 miles away. And I was in fucking bed sleeping. So when I got up yesterday to prepare my YouTube vid, I had to spend most of my time being on the phone to the bank and to the sheriff. And then the sheriff called me back and said, I don't, this is basically a criminal, criminal act. So that told me to keep looking for it in the San Juan paper. They're going to investigate. So so that was kind of scary. Last night. I was like, what the hell. All right. So they just updated it 2 days ago. She said there's a lot of. Hmm. Fraud. Yeah, that's what they said. It was basically fraud. So. Hmm. Dog bites. Yeah, I'm just reading the news here. Disorderly elk. Domestic abuse. Wow. There's a lot of domestic on this island right now. Mm. Hmm. So I'm just looking through the news thing. Welfare checks. There's a lot of welfare checks now. Sounds like Chloe. Here's one that's funny on Orcas Island. All the Orcas Island deputies were dispatched to a mental call in East Hound area. The individual claimed to have a rifle and was going to start kicking in doors and shooting residents and responding officers. Subject was taken into custody without incident. No firearm was found. Kicking doors. Dude, this is funny. Mm, excuse me. That was probably last night's bacon I ate. That was yeah, that was the bacon smell. Yeah, that's what happened to him. You know. Anyways, yeah. So 177 reports. That's too damn funny. Yeah, yeah, it's complete, but they got to open their investigation. That's the problem, Chris. They got to investigate. No, yeah, I know. That's what they told my friend, right? My friend's bank account was hacked and drained, right? And she's got to wait 90 days for her social security check to go back in. She's been making payments to the manager, but she thinks it's basically wrong, 90 days. So last night I said to her, last night I said, I have some news for you. I said, you know, uh, there's too much evil in the world. She says, oh, what do you, I know what you mean. She's Jehovah's Witness. I said, well, you weren't the only one hacked. She said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, my card was drained on the ferry in Mukilteo to Clinton. Mm. Now they got to look in to see if they can get the camera footage to see if someone was using it and request the bank to give a timestamp so they can actually check the timestamp on the ferry. I mean, literally, we're dealing with someone who's a freaking criminal. I mean, literally, cloning debit cards is a felony, and then that's why she said they have to contact the FBI, so they might knock on my door, as well. No, I've never seen how vengeful a monkey can be, Chris. All I know is there's a lot of problems, man. A lot of problems. So back to the old gun thing that came out today. Now people are thinking they can conceal carry with no problems, but as the sheriff turned around today, she said a permit only speeds up the wait list from 10 days to 0 days if you have a concealed carry permit. I said, well, how's that work now that New York was overturned? They can still put in permits and charge people for the permits. Now they just got to carry. The problem is the Supreme Court said, oh, well, you can carry it in bars. I'm sorry to say, I may be pro gun, but bars is not something, and I think Tara J and Gabby would both agree. Bars are not something you want to be inebriated in, because in our state, you can't go to churches, federal buildings, mental health clinics, etc. There's a no something. Would you excuse me for a minute, Chris? I'm just going to go use the toilet. I'll be right back. I have this so I can reply to you that way. All right. Thank you for waiting. So, Chloe, I went into her room, right? And she's like, "Here's your phone." So I was being polite. I said, what happened with the county DCR, the designated crisis responder? And she said, he wants her to go tomorrow early in the morning, fill out the paperwork so she can get into see a psychiatrist to medicate her. Now, that was the best course of action, to medicate her. You're always talking about food. I got pork chops I got to cook up eventually. Sometime today. So I asked a question on Amazon, got an answer. It's good to know, that actually Amazon actually, you know. So. See, I was looking at buying a couple items, for prepping. One was I was looking at generator prices, another generator, backup generator. We have several already, but having another one wouldn't be too bad. Of course, we own Honda, so Honda's not bad and it's quiet, but trying to plug it in during a power outage would be an interesting thing. The neighbors would complain. Mm, you know. So basically, I wanted to share that with you, Chris. So basically, Chloe calls the DCR up. The DCR wasn't replying. So Chloe finally gets in touch with the guy. And the guy calls back, and I gave her the phone, and she's like, "Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, well, what do I do? Because Rita wants me out. Rita literally wants me out." He says, "You need to get medicated. You got to come in and fill the paperwork in the morning." The thing is he knows Chloe won't go to the emergency room. Plus, Chloe's not. I asked him a serious question today, right? Gabby's listening. Gabby and I have been through a lot more than uh, Chris. Gabby, came back after years being under the radar. No offense, Gabby. Like a submarine. Anyway, so Gabby knows everything, anyways. But anyway, so what happened was, I was on the phone to the DCR today. He's like, Rita, there's nothing you can do. You need therapy yourself, but you can't get it because the county won't pay. And you have Medicare, so you're screwed. So unless Chloe basically does something for herself, you have only one choice but to kick her out legally. That was his exact words. This time, make sure it sticks. So that's what happened. And then I was like, okay, cool. And so I asked what the definition of involuntary treatment is. He's like, involuntary treatment. He actually brought up a thing about kicking doors into rifles. That's why I was laughing, because he was bringing it up without hinting at the guy in Orcus was detained, involuntary commitment due to the fact he was threatening to shoot people. You don't threaten to shoot people. I mean, but anyways, the sheriff and a lot of people are wondering how I knew that thing was going to be overturned today. And to me, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So I thought that was funny as hell. There is because of many things. I mean, well, let me put it this way, Chris. Apparently, the government's trying to put in the Social Security Blue Book, all right, for disability. They're trying to basically put in that video game addiction has to be claimed. They got to say caffeine addiction, tobacco addiction has got to be a disability. And they also think that being transgender is a disability because someone's in the wrong body. Yeah, I personally think, this whole gun control thing, they call me paranoid, Chris and Gabby, but I think there might be a lot more shootings. Someone walks down the street, that someone might detect that they're tranny, they might just get shot and be like, self-defense, self-defense. I mean, literally, you could be walking down the street, just walking your dog, and you get shot, and the dog's sitting there wondering why mama or daddy's been shot. I mean, literally. I mean, they think more guns are gonna save the thingy, save lives. I mean, literally. I mean, I don't know about you, Gabby. I know you have children, but I wouldn't want my kids, if I had kids, going to school knowing the teacher's packing heat. Back in the day, that would not, in the 80s, that would not be even. But I'd like to get your opinion on that, Gabby. But still, you know, how is that going to play out with concealed carry now? Is everyone just going to conceal carry because it's a law? Or is the state still going to say you need permits for it? Well, I mean, in the state of Washington, concealed carry permits, because the sheriff's like, well, you got to pass the info. I said, I've had a permit for you, dissolved 5 years ago. I'd like to get it renewed or a new one. She said, okay. She says, but if you get denied, I said, I won't be denied. She says, what do you mean? I said, the state's a shall issue state. I know this. I said, Katie told me the person, and I said, how much is it? She said, $50. The Bible says, beware of famine, pestilence, rumors of wars, and wars in this country. Well, let's see. We got pestilence already. That's the coronavirus. You got famine, which is food shortages. You got rumors of wars and wars, which is mostly, mostly. Look at that, Gabby. You barely see him. He's eating. What are you eating there, Ebo? Oh, he's eating his carrot. Yeah, you got carrot, huh? Carrot yummy? Carrot's yummy, huh, little guy? He's shedding, by the way, Gabby, but still. Um, my point is, no, so, Chris, famines, food shortages, pestilences, viruses. I mean, literally, it's pretty bad. However, my coffee went up to $9 a can. That's basically surprising. And other coffee went up $3 to $4 a bag. We live in a world where the things that people need and some things that just plumb sold out. I'm gonna check another website real quick. You know, and I could have made ramen last night, but the dishes wasn't done. But it's not my job. To low, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Oh, that's low stock. Out of stock figures. My stuff's out of stock still. And canned meat's going through the damn roof. You gotta pay cash if you want something. Ugh, you know how it is. Let's see. How much is the canned meats that I'm looking for again? 3-pack, that's too much money. 12-pack, that went up $15 figures. You see, this is what I'm checking on. Hmm. Everything went up in price again. Oh yeah, what about that Keystone stuff? Keystone's going up all the time. Have you ever heard of that Keystone stuff? That's like $12 a can. Yeah, they make like beef and chicken and stuff. Let's see. 6-pack, one up. That's too much. That's a set of 10. Yeah, that's 138 bucks. That's like $13 a can. Hmm. No, it's like $20 a can there. You know. So if you're looking at it, the Keystone stuff went through the roof again. I mean, you can't just, these people are scalping Keystone at Walmart, and then jacking the price up, you know. Look at this Danish premium canned hams. So, canned meat went up in price again. Wanted to get some buffalo wings, but, that's too fucking expensive, too. I mean, yep, wings went up again, $3 and $5. Can you believe that? I mean, literally, just get 10-pound bag. It's just too damn expensive. That was Benjamin Franklin who said that. Ben Franklin. Apparently, he said that. Benjamin Franklin's thing about peace and security. All right. So Benjamin Franklin said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase little temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety." Yeah. So a lot of people say there's theories around it, but that was Benjamin Franklin. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, Chris. I mean, literally, I mean, let me tell you something. The other day, right, Chris, this might be something of interest. The other day you're talking about buying an air conditioner, and I said, oh, you need to stockpile, right? Well, so the other day I was having a conversation with a doctor, right? Video conference. Well, actually, it was on the phone. Video conference got canceled. It's been like an hour and 15 minutes, an hour just shooting the shit with her. And then we were talking about the economy. And I said, yeah, you can't get anything. I mean, these people are using Chinese-based suppliers for their stuff, like their blood lab stuff, and they're sold out, and it's a Catholic thing. She said we changed over to an American supplier because the insurance company's paying for it anyways. Most insurance companies are going to pay, so we just went with an American provider, right? So she said, I said, so what do you think of these preppers? She said, the preppers are the problem. I said, what do you mean? She says, if people weren't prepping, people wouldn't raise the cost of everything. She says, we got a pandemic that's going to spread in fall and winter, right? Meanwhile, all these people are bitching about gas pricing, which they should. And yet, at the same time, even Gabby should be bitching about gas thing, right? So she turns around. She says, the supply is low, the demand is high. And because there's not enough workers to fill the supply gap for Amazon and the manufacturing of food, like canned goods, like whatever you need, right? She said the pandemic preppers, the ones that are prepping because of this whole, oh, we got to prepare. The government's going to get even with us, yada, yada, yada. Government's going to collapse, right? Turns around and she said that they brought it upon themselves, you know. So to me, I thought that was the most interesting thing in the world. So apparently the Dow Jones is up past 330,000 now. So yeah. So, so they're trying to avoid the recession, but, these people are saying, oh, we're going to be in a recession. We're going to do this and that, and, prices are going to go through the roof and keep raising it through the roof, that it's not going to go down. And yet she said it's the preppers that are causing the prices to go through the roof without any supplies for anyone else to buy. She said the problem is they're going to get enough cans that they're going to have to start eating it down. And when they start eating it down, it's different. You know. So Higgins emailed me saying he ate a can of raviolis for dinner, and he just got some coronavirus testing kits. We got 2 more too, so we got a total of like 26 now. Why do I think currently Russia, China gonna? Well, China's holding a country hostage, basically. So here's what's happened, okay? If you want to get technical on the political spectrum of things without me being very cranky today, okay, as this, I am lack of sleep, but, when some dipshit uses a weed whacker on the wall and wakes you up while you're having a nice dream, while you're comforting yourself in your pillows, that's a different story, but still, the problem is Chloe, sorry, not Chloe, China's holding the country's hostage, okay? This is what happened. The entire world's held hostage by China. They got 1.1 billion people in lockdown and 100 million working. And you got ships going overseas. By the way, I did see the ship report today, okay? It was scary. They said, and I quote, ships are literally losing containers. They're losing like 0.01% of containers every year going into the sea. So ships, insurance companies got to pay. So, but still, who knows what's in those containers? I don't think they have container tracking that says, oh, this one's got food and this one's got guns or magazines or ammo or whatever, right? So, anyways, so basically, China's holding the world hostage. As long as we rely on China, we're not going to get out under China's footprint. Everything is relied on China. Well, the United States had to employ Europeans under the euro to send us baby formula from Germany and other countries because we don't have any. That tells you right there. Where's no offense to Gabby. Gabby's a beautiful woman, but if baby formula was coming from China, I'd be very disturbed. But anyway, so Russia, of course, Russia knew we were selling our oil to other countries. We were buying Russia's oil cheap. But when Biden put in a block on it, the price of oil went up through the roof, which means gas went through the roof, which means everyone got screwed, as you know. So Russia wants Russia wants us dead because Russia's unhappy that we still believe in believe in the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. Russia believes and China believes, Chris, that what we need in this country is an autocracy. What that means, brother Chris, is they want us to be under a dictatorship. Now, with expanding the gun laws, that just says, we're not going to expand dictatorship. That just basically says, people can conceal carry. The question is if the Supreme Court allowed the concealed carry, you got to ask yourself that if there's another January 6th, how many people are going to be packing heat this time and using it against the police? I mean, it could be pure brutal force. I feel like this is a communal revenge. Well, it is. I mean, it is a revenge. I mean, the other thing is let me put it to you this way, okay? Hey, Gabby, are you still with us? Here's the deal, okay? In the 90s, under Clinton, they signed a bill allowing anyone to send their factories overseas because China made a deal. Okay, China says, oh, we'll do this and you do that. But China didn't tell them that if they ever pulled out of China, the copywriting for the products that's made in China belongs to China. So, for example, you buy a Nintendo Switch or a Steam Deck, it goes directly from China. China's, So what happened? Basically, what it is. So it is a communist revenge. Oh, communist revenge, not a community revenge. Communist revenge. Yes, it's basically like I said. If you read The Naked Communist, all the checked boxes are checked out. So technically, the problem is what's going to happen to the world. And the world is that China and Russia wants every world country to be communist. They don't like the royal family. They don't like the royal families of Europe. They don't like the royal families of Asia. They want full, complete dictatorship. So what Russia's trying to do is expand communism to the other parts of the world. They claim it's capitalism, but they're still under a communist regime. And someone said to me once, a Russian I know, I said, "Why is Russia wanting to stay dictatorship? Because for 1,000 years they had a dictator, right?" And here's the kicker: I've been doing some research on the side about dictatorships. Okay, I'll tell you why the countries like China think we need a dictator, okay? Let me tell you how it works, okay? Have you ever done research on the last emperor of China? He was basically a man that had too much power. Pui. Pui had so much power, Henry Pui, that he turned around, and if he wasn't happy and he was moody, and one day, no one can control him except his chambermaid. They'll let him suck on her boobs till he was like 8 or 9, and then he went downhill when she left because his mom at the time came back and sent her away. Right now, you're wondering what's this have to do with autocracy? Well, I'll tell you. China believes that the wealth should be distributed. But if you look at the Chinese president and the Russian president, they got more wealth than anyone, the oligarchs, right? So what happens is China turns around and thinks the last emperor is only the emperor of the Forbidden City, right? Now you can find it on HBO if you have HBO Max. You can watch The Last Emperor. But the movie basically shows he literally abuses his servants, which are eunuchs, which are not male or no female. They have their testicles cut off to serve in the king's court, or the emperor's court. And then on top of that, he lived a lavish lifestyle, basically. Whatever he wanted, he had to have. One day he argued he wanted a car, so because the president of the Republic of China had a car, he wanted a car. Well, eventually, China, once the presidency or the republic dissolved, Chris, there was warlords like General something Shack, code named Cash My Check, and he basically, had things. China, of course, was in war with Japan, the Sino War. So basically, so the China sent spies over and everything else. But the thing is China from 1907 to 1949. When they exiled the king, he had to go to the Chinese embassy or the Japanese embassy. The British embassy wasn't going to help him, so he was on his own. So he basically worked with China. Now, when he was captured, he was sent to Russia. Russians captured him, and then when the war was over and Mao Zedong took over for the CCP, the Communist Party, Chinese Communist Party, he basically was sent back to deal 10 years in China in a prison. And they told him he would have a better time if he confessed his sins, what he did. So when he was talking about it, he said he supported communism. He actually, at the end of his life, he actually supported and embraced communism. The former king of, but he was working to the day he died. He was a gardener, swept the streets and was a gardener. So everyone had a job. Well, Mao Zedong didn't like the fact that the peasants were being treated unequal. They were treated like garbage. So President Xi basically said the other day that America doesn't need a president. America doesn't need a Congress and a Senate. America needs an autocracy. Now you're wondering why. Well, think about it. Think of what Russia's done and think of what China's done. China's got 1.2 billion people. They're working all the time, right? They even have a better Facebook system than us. They have a better this and that, right? The problem is China basically knows guns are the problem. Which guns, in my opinion, aren't the problem. But thing is China thinks as long as, mass shootings happen and other things happen, look, the America spends more money in war. Now China's turning around and building bigger and bigger and bigger destroyers and frigates and cruisers and subs and aircraft carriers. They want to rival America. Fortunately, America wants to be the police of the world, but China says now it's our turn to be the police of the world. Look what you're doing to your people. You're allowing the poor to stay home because of a pandemic, and you're asking us for money to support them. Then he's like, look at the other things going on. You basically can't make a decision. You got too many bodies of checks and balances, right? I'll explain that. You got the president who sits there and says, like today, he's got this lollipop in his hand, and he's wearing a doctor's outfit, Dr. Biden, and he's like, hey, this will help you with your gas vacation, and he's got a lollipop. The lollipop is the sign of this is how much you're saving in gas if the government does his thing, right? Fortunately, the problem is with the government is literally having problems, and because of it, you have an autocracy in other countries, which, they have like a central database that they say this person's been arrested or this one's been sent off to the gulag or whatever, right? Or, harsher punishments. Whereas over here, a rapist gets away with raping a woman because, the woman egged me on, and then the woman's got to carry the child. Whereas in some of these countries, rapists that commit a crime, they allow mostly abortions, and then on top of that, they turn around and they execute the rapist. They don't tolerate it. You murder someone, you're executed. You get a bullet in the back of the head, Or if you're trying to revolt against the country, like Russia, they send you off to the gulag for like the rest of your life, working in like hard labor, But think of it, Chris. So you got all that, right? So China and Russia thinks that we can't manage our own affairs due to the fact that look what we're doing. We're borrowing too much money to make us a superpower. And two is we're still living in the past where our founding fathers said, the reason they think communists would be better is because everyone would be equal, right? The reason this country is so loving is because everyone loves not to be equal. You got the poor, you got the middle class, and you got the 1%. And they think the 1% needs to come off their perch and give to the working and poor class. Everyone should be equal. Look, people finance construction projects. We got more houses in this country empty than full. They could give every man, woman, and child in this country a house, and we still have houses to give up for our future generation of children. But instead, no, the homeless problem is the homeless. See, China's fixed the homeless problem. Russia's fixed the homeless problem. Everyone has a home, even if it's an apartment, even though sometimes the maintenance is problematic. The problem is everyone has a home. Now, the reason the Soviet Union collapsed is because we made it collapse. The Americans. Everyone knows this. One day, Russia collapsed, and Russia pulled all their troops out of the former Soviet blocs, leaving the countries that were under Soviet rule to fend for themselves. Hey, Zoe. So basically, you see where I'm going with this, Chris. So this is what now look at the United States, for example. You got a pandemic. They're saying, oh, another virus is coming. You got, as Zoe said last night, long-term coronavirus issues. You got um, yeah, well, ultimate love doesn't equal ultimate greed. Ultimate love is not ultimate love, it's ultimate greed. Think of it. You think Elon Musk is going to turn out with all his millions and give you $1 million just because he can? No, he can give $1 million to every person in America and he'd still be wealthy. He could give $3 million to each person in America and he'd still be wealthy. Bill Gates could do the same. Bezos can do the same. Said, what are they doing? They're spending $1 billion, a billion or so for a new yacht being built. A new yacht. Half sailor, half motor ship, right? Now, what's that tell you? That tells you right there that the wealthy could spare the wealth, but instead they don't. But then again, in Russia, the oligarchs were the wealthy ones. They got what they wanted through the black market. Fortunately, Biden crushed the oligarchs. Now the only one that has supreme power is Putin. And then Jai Ji keeps saying, well, congratulations, Biden, you're the president, but your country needs an autocracy because they can't maintain 50 states and you borrow more money every year. And three is that your resources are drying up, basically. And by the way, the fuel problem right now is because we won't open up some of our public lands that could be, we know where the oil is. The EPA won't, the president and the EPA won't open it up for people. Trump would have done it immediately, Oh, thanks. My hair, thank you. Basically, I'm not trying to praise Trump anyway. Look at it. I'm just saying, look at the big picture when it comes to everything going on. I mean, you got people, as I told Zoe last night, Chris, you got people panic buying. It's like the doctor said, as Zoe said, the doctor's right. Supply is low, demand's high, prices are high, people keep buying it at higher prices. No one's working to restock the supplies. I mean, literally, there's an 18-month wait at some places just to get your animal to the butcher shop. Look, whatever you wish, Chris. Phoenix or non-Phoenix. I mean, look. Let me put it to this way. The bottom line is the American people are literally suffering, and China's like, look what you're doing to your people. You got homeless people. Yeah, you can't give them jobs and you won't clean them up because they're homeless. You won't sit there and spend $150 a year for the post office box or giving them a home where they can clean themselves up every day, work slowly up to where they get decent clothes and work. Instead, you're basically letting them sit on the streets and then you're burning their tents, arresting them, putting them in the mental hospitals. That's what China is saying. In Russia, they're both saying this. Look at the Russia and China. You put more emphasis on controlling your people with abortion rights and letting everyone pack heat. The reason they released the packing heat thing is the people are afraid that China and Russia is going to invade, Chris. So they're basically allowing things. By the way, Zoe, if you haven't heard, they lifted the concealed carry this morning. I actually was talking to the sheriff last night and I said that, that it was going to be overturned in less than 24 hours. She emailed me today saying, how'd you know? I said, I got messages from God. God told me about my debit card, Oh, great. What now? So someone complained, I bet. Again. Let's see what the notice says this time. Great. Better get out here, you turd nugget. Everyone, give me a second. I asked Chloe to come out here.
What is it?
Inspection.
When is it?
In approximately 6 days.
6 days.
29th.
And you said that the Supreme Court's lifted a concealed carry thing?
Yeah, they did it this morning.
In all states?
No, just in New York. Now they're there. The problem with the Supreme Court, you should be focused on this over guns.
Okay, I understand, but there could be people carrying guns in public.
Yeah, but that's in New York. New York might basically pass a law saying it's easier to get a concealed permit now because they said that it's not necessary. It's 8 states. This challenge in New York was the toughest of 100 years. Every other state was basically everyone, as I was trying to explain, was similar, where you have to show just cause to have a permit. Now, in this state, all you do is you go pay $50. They fingerprint you, send it off the FBI, and if they can't get it done in 30 days, it's a shall issue state. They issue no ifs, ands, or buts. Let's see what this is looking for. Let's read this. This is going to be interesting. Let's see. Purposes of the inspection evaluate the condition of your apartment and fixtures in regard to maintenance, housekeeping, and safety issues. All fixtures will be inspected. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. Okay. Please report any reports needed to management right away so they have time to repair them prior to the inspection. Remember that you're required to keep all furnishings, appliances, floor coverings, and draperies in clean and sanitary conditions. Recommend that you have your carpets professionally cleaned once per year. If we know it's serious health or safety issue, we schedule a re-inspection. Great. See? And this is why I keep telling Chloe to keep this place clean. Apparently, they're doing an inspection yearly for all the units because apparently Chelsea's got one too. 1. All furniture, papers, clothing, toys, linen, and other combustibles must stay 12 inches from baseboard heaters. Yeah. Regardless if the heater is operational or connected to power. Whatever. 2. The smoke detectors must have operational batteries. Yeah, okay, whatever. Missing smoke is in compliance with your lease of missing smoke. Yeah, well, they replaced ours. 3. The range, refrigerator, walls, countertops, and counter cabinetry must be clean and free of all food particles, dirt, and/or coffee grounds, grease, and more. Flooring, carpet, and vinyl must be clean and free of particles that could damage the vinyl, tile, or carpet fibers. Well, we already have the tape here to protect it. I mean, literally, the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I sleep at days, so. 4. All the light fixtures must have working light bulbs in them. They do not exceed proper wattage. Well, I'm sorry to say, but in payday, I'm not going to basically buying a new spiral light bulb until, your bath fan, stove, refrigerator, range hood, and air conditioner, if applicable, should be working properly. Last time I know. Well, let's see if this time around is better for Chloe. Maybe she'll earn her hard drive this time around. She's got 6 days. Let's see. 5. All areas must be free of obstructions allowed. Free path into all rooms of the apartment. Your floors and closets must not have piles of boxes, papers, clothing, toys, or other excess items on or in them, as we must be able to inspect all your flooring and closet areas. Shelving in hallways is not allowed as opposed to a safety issue. The closet must be clear and allow doors to hang and move properly. Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice? Your emergency pull cord, if applicable, must be operational. Yeah, well, apparently that's in their old place. We had like 2 of them. My cousin once triggered one. It was funny as hell. The EMS came out as fast as possible, because it triggers it, and it triggers that, and it triggers, because it was an old assisted living home. So your back door and windows must not be blocked in any way outside, inside, or out. Your hot water tank, if applicable, must not have any items stored on top of the tank or around the tank. Hot water tank must be easily accessible and must be viewable. Heavy storage around the hot water tank is not acceptable. No, they're just on an inspection. Apparently, the neighbor got one too. I don't know how many neighbors got this, but I know Chelsea got one too. So there we go. Chloe better bust her ass off. I've seen her get this place done in 48 hours. She can have this place cleaned and recleaned every day. You know what? Chloe's going to have to handle the inspection because I'm going to be sleeping that day. If they wake me up, I'm going to be a royal bitch. Literally, they had to basically pull this out now. I mean, literally. I mean, thank God we got a working vacuum cleaner, but still, isn't that funny as hell? Well, let's see if Chloe can earn her hard drive she wants or something else. You know, she was asking me the other day about Steam. I can always send her Stardew Valley. She's wanting to try that game with her controller, you know. Well, actually, the funny thing is, the funny thing is Chloe. You know, we could have the office could be done in probably 45 minutes. Chloe's room could be done in an hour, but she tosses everything. What what the problem is is you know is this Zoe. Okay, I'll tell you the problem is. Okay, it's simple. What are you doing now?
I'm defrosting the meat.
Fine, whatever. Anyways, when I get off, he can cook pork chops. I didn't cook them last. I had leftover bacon last night. Didn't taste that good. Give me pretty bad indigestion. Anyways, yeah. Well, you better start getting something done. 6 days. Let me explain, Zoe, what's going on. Okay, we had an inspection in January and February. We passed, right? They weren't going to do it. State inspection, actually, it was different. Then we had another inspection. By the way, Gabby asked a question, so let me just show Gabby. Gabby asked question. I give you question. Question is here. She said, "How's Moppy?" Moppy's right here. See? Hi. I assume because there's an inspection coming, that little fat body wants a snacky, huh? Just make sure you keep them out of the house when we have the inspection because you can bark all you want. Yeah. T-bones. Filet mignon flavor. Yeah, well, my thing is we can have this place tidied up in probably 4 hours, but Chloe likes to drag it out till 2 days before, and then she busts her ass because she's like, "Ooh." You see, the thing is, Chloe expects me to do it, right? The kicker is I pay her to do it, right? And she doesn't want to do it. I mean, literally, I'll tell you the story today, Zoe, since you're here. So earlier, I called up the county DCR for mental advice. They said they can't touch Chloe with a 10-foot pole due to the fact that Chloe's they can't involve Chloe, right? So they can't involve Chloe, and yet they can't touch Chloe, right? Well, anyways, I said, well, Chloe's depressed and needs meds and everything else. Meds would work. But he said unless Chloe's willing to help herself, Chloe's going to have to basically leave, on her own accord or etc., right? So what happened? Zoe, was I told Chloe they would basically call an inspection at any given time because they can. Well, apparently between, I should message Trish and see if she got a notice too, because apparently me and what's her name got inspected again, and that means this is our fourth inspection this year. Of course, they know Chloe's attitude. You know, when Chloe carries out 20 bags of garbage at one time because she doesn't want to take the trash out but once every month, they know there's a problem. Pretty much. You know. And with Chloe, she thinks that because she's a woman, that she's entitled to have someone else do it for her. You know, she thinks she's a entitled princess. Tasty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the thing is the trash is always taken out, you know. Thing is I have to remind her, like last time it's 15 days. When she did take it out, this ain't like that or orange or lemon. Mm. So the other day, right, I was hungry last night besides bacon. I had bacon and then I watched a movie and then I watched a second movie. Second movie, I was so hungry. Chloe's hoarding a box of Tostios. That's like non-sugar coated Cheerio, you know, by Malto meal. Well, what did I do? Poured me a bowl. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. I wonder. I mean, we do. Chloe can have this place done in 4 hours. She focuses, but the thing is, she doesn't focus. Like I said, she expects everyone to do it for her. You know, and then I mean, she was 5% done. She had 5% left to do before she was going to get her prize last time. What'd she do? She skipped it. Oh, well, the inspection's over. I don't have to worry for another year. Now she's in her room panicking. I mean, they literally laid down what needs to be done, you know, and repairs, you know. Yeah, well, I got something else I can eat too, which I should do it while I'm talking to you guys. Shouldn't take too long. I just need a knife and my Ziploc bag. There we go, see? And a Ziploc bag is here, so you guys get to see me do this. You say, oh, you eat healthier? Watch this. Food Bank gave us fresh celery, so I might as well utilize it. This piece here needs to be. Gotta cut it up in the bag before it goes bad. You guys get to see me work for once. And by the way, the leaves come in handy, actually. You should just give them to the rabbit, and he'll eat them. Saves me not throwing them out. To him, it's a treat. Isn't that nice of him? I got to put something in a Ziploc bag anyways, but as you can see, I'm actually cutting these down, and when I'm done, she likes fresh veggies. Beats that. It saves on the pellets too for a day. See? He gets to leave. I get to. Better check the door.
Chelsea and her son.
Not the package. At least we got to see her looking at that notice. You see her facial expression?
Yeah.
She's pissed. You can tell.
Well,
They already had 3 inspections this year, Chloe. You know, that's the thing. I was just trying to explain it. Here you go.
what you're doing? Cleaning now?
No, I'm inspecting strawberries and putting them in the fridge so they don't go bad.
So, Maybe you should get to gaming soon. We could have dinner.
Yeah, well, right now I'm doing something. He's got some food.
Oh, yeah, you could do that. Wait, what are those leaves he has? Celery leaves?
I'm gonna say you can eat celery leaves. That's one of his things.
Like boom, boom, you're eating strawberries and celery leaves. You're eating fresh produce.
Well, he's getting a strawberry now. Here's your daily treat today, Evo.
Well, there's red in his bowl already. That's strawberry.
No, that's a carrot. Carrot.
Well, I don't remember carrots being red.
Well, this one is because it's in the bottom. Trust me, I fed him. I know exactly what he has. I just need to finish doing this.
Well, then I'm going to look myself. How come the carrot looked like a strawberry?
No, I didn't. Just want to make sure he gets his snackies for the.
What else can he eat?
I don't know. I was wondering if Bunny could eat an orange. I'd love to give him an orange to try.
I gave a goat a hot pepper once.
Yeah, well, how'd that play out?
He was licking his tongue and drinking water. Well, he didn't drink much water. He's like,
Yeah, well. Oh yeah, you got fresh tomatoes in there from last week you should use for the go moldy. I don't know if you use tomatoes or not, but where's our, oh, here it is. Guess Chloe's gonna have to prove herself once again this time. 6 days, people. Anyways, it just got done, so. Anyways, a little Evo's taken care of. See, this is what I was doing, is taking care of Bun Bun first. You know, making sure he had plenty of vegetables, plenty of fruit. He's got a little fruit. He's got a salad in there. Made by Mama Rita. No, well, apparently we don't have any money for that. Sorry to say. I wish we did, but we don't. You know. So, like I said, Chloe has 6 days. I, on the other hand, am paying her, so I don't need to do it because it's her mess anyways. There's like 4th of July thing. There's like a cookout, a luau, and you know. So, you know, I just basically made sure he got his feed. I took a couple pieces of celery for myself. I was eating healthy, you know. I just love this little guy, you know. Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing, you know. The thing is, if Chloe doesn't get it done at all, they'll redo the reinspection until they get it done. So Chloe needs to realize, you know. The food bank has their own veggie plot out back that they harvest stuff from. So, you know, and then on top of that, the food bank also gets donations from the, donations from farmers. So the farmers also donate like pork chops. Stuff that isn't sold, they donate pork chops and stuff. No, you don't get celery. You won't chop it. My celery. No. Food bank basically provided Chloe with, you know. What I like to do with the celery is I like to eat it in the evenings. A little ranch dressing. A little ranch dressing goes a long ways, you know. That's one thing I really love, you know. So I got my game set up. I still got to work on some stuff on my game. Uh, so last night I was Googling some stuff. Turns out that while I was Googling some stuff, the book didn't have everything in it. So, but, I find the book to be interesting. I got to get my crops prepared for another season, summer, which means I have to make sure to get these sprinklers set up and slowly whittle down the old sprinklers, you know. Huh, didn't know that. Huh. So, yeah, concealed carry has been lifted. Basically, now we need to know what's going to happen in the future. Yeah, Chris is probably sitting there if he's still around, wondering what the heck this is. This is a book. See, basically cost me $30, and I use this every time to help me out. And now I just got my big coop built, so I got ducks now. I'm growing ducks in my house. you know. So Stardew Valley's not bad. I still got to get the deluxe barn to unlock sheep and pigs. Actually, no, got to unlock goats. Yeah, and then after I unlock goats, I still got to unlock sheep and pigs, which I have to have pigs. Unless that lady sells me a truffle, I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I have to spend money just to get truffles. But I spent a lot of money preparing for winter again, which means I'm prepping for winter again, which is only summer. Every 28 days is a season, so we gotta prepare for Willie's boat. Gotta prepare for the movie theater. What's this? Prismatic shard. Okay, that's gonna be easy. Void salmon, that could be easy. The wine, silver quality or higher. 5 ancient fruits. That okay. Well, dinosaur mayonnaise. That's gonna be a little tricky one. Dinosaur mayonnaise. How do I grow dinosaurs? There's ostriches too. So. Yeah, so I so love this, you know. So I was hoping for a version 1.6, but they haven't updated 1.6. This is not just farming, you know. Stardew Valley, it's more than just farming, you know. For example, in wintertime when you don't farm, unless you farm in your greenhouse, you raise your cows and your sheep and your goats and your ostriches and everything else. But thing is, if you get everything set up properly, like the auto feeder and the auto grabber, you can go in right before bed every night, grab all your items from your animals, and you could just run around, Zoe, in the mines all day. I'm trying to get it so I can do mining more. You know, I run in the mines. You know, I'm like there's 120 floors in one mine. The second floor I haven't done, but I need to get my sprinklers done. So every 10,000 gold, I gotta go buy a sprinkler from Cronus, and then once I get Cronus's sprinklers, I'll put in the best sprinklers one at a time, and then let the other sprinklers be used. So eventually, I have my entire crops water at 10,000 gold a pop, and then I can go mining every day for mining, and then I just put in the auto grabber. Power Mount Plus, the iconic duo. So there's a new movie out called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. My family grew up in a farm. Our family's log cabin's a national historical site in Fort Ransom, North Dakota. So, my family grew up a farmer. My grandfather owned a farm apparently in Spokane. My grandmother said he sell the family security. She divorced and moved off to Ballard and started settling down in like Linwood, Washington. But someone else. But yeah, I mean, that's the funniest thing was, Grandpa was like, Grandma was like, you sell the farm, that's it. See, he's happy. He's got his foodsies. Hopefully, Chloe can get done. I guessed it. Well, the thing is, Zoe, is I'm a big into the farming games. The thing is when I was first visiting Nintendo of America, right? Hold on a second. Let me tinkle. Let me tell you a story that might be of interest to you. Mommy, gonna plug you the door. I'm your mom. All right, sorry about that. So this book I want to share with you also is another farming game. It's called Harvest Moon. You see, Stardew Valley was a tribute to Harvest Moon. Eric Barone, who made Stardew Valley, 10 years, he coded it, he programmed it, he did it all himself. Basically, it was a tribute to Harvest Moon. Now, before you ask questions, I want to show you something. Okay, another favorite book of mine. I'm like a kid when it comes to books. I love books. All right, this see. Harvest Moon 20th Anniversary Edition. Now, you can sit there and say, what's so special about it? Well, besides it being a strategy guide, right? Whoops. I was working, last time I was playing it, I was working on crop mutations. You see, each one you can mutate. And with all the money I've made in this game, it's fine. But I'm going to show you one of my favorite features of this book. 20 years of Harvest Moon, all the games. I never played the original Harvest Moon, so I don't know the Super NES version, but, it shows pictures, see? So one of the things I truly love about the game is, look at that. Shows pictures, gives the discreets, tells the fun facts about the game, see, it looks just like that, See? It's like Stardew Valley, but then, they brought out a Game Boy Color version, which is a portable version of it that I never got to play those either. I'd like to. Then there was Harvest Moon 64. That was a pretty fun game, but I played that later. But I started out with, I didn't even get to try Harvest Moon 2. At the time, people told me, oh, Harvest Moon's, you're going to love it or hate it, Later, I got a copy of Back to Nature for PlayStation, but my first game was a remake of Back to Nature. See, this is the PlayStation version. See, Back to Nature. That was like the most popular one in the game series because you can get married and stuff. Then they re-updated it, But see, this is called Harvest Moon Back to Nature, right? Well, anyways, when they decided they did Harvest Moon 3, which I never got to try, but this one I owned, Save the Homeland. Me and hubby played and we thought, it was so-so, We weren't really big into it. But this is where I started my Harvest Moon addiction. Hundreds and hundreds of hours. Friends of Mineral Town. Now, you could sit there and say, what's so special about it? I'll tell you. Then they brought out Another Wonderful Life for GameCube. Again, it sucked. I have them all. I have all the Harvest Moon games now, but I haven't tried some of them. Harvest Moon, More Friends of Mineral Town. This is the girls' edition, where this one you can only marry the guys, which I thought royally sucked, But in the Japanese version, you can do like same-sex marriage. But out here at the time, Nintendo's like, So I put hundreds of hours of both copies of Friends of Mineral Town. Hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of hours. Then they have Another Wonderful Life again on Harvest Moon on GameCube. Then you have Harvest Moon Special Edition for PS2. Again, they kept remaking them. And then they started going stale a bit. Magical Melody. But one of my favorite games, which I saw reviews on. I'll tell you about some other favorites. This one here I have, the DS. I've never tried it yet. I hear it's all controlled with that. Innocent Life have those. Those games are awesome. See, look at the farming pictures and stuff. Doesn't that look cool? I mean, literally, it just shows what you can do, Then, Boy and a Girl, it's a remake of the PS1 version. Back to Nature, it's they just ported it over to PS thing. Then, you got the original Rune Factory. I beat Rune Factory 1, by the way. Great game. It's basically like Stardew Valley with swords and stuff. And Eric Barone took liberties from the Rune Factory, but he actually put in things in this one. You can train monsters. Puzzle D Harvest Moon's kind of stupid. DSQ's just a male version of the DS. That's pretty fun. I have a copy of that. I haven't tried yet. Island of Happiness is all touch controls with the stylus. It's like people complained about it. That's why, they're like, oh. Then they brought out Tree of Tranquility. The problem with the Wii is the controller is kind of like a TV remote type thing. It's difficult. Rune Factory 2. Played it. Got a lot through it. Would play it again. Frantic Farming is a puzzle game. Then you got Harvest Moon. Animal Parade. That's pretty good except for the controls on the Switch. Then you have Sunshine Island. You have to have a Wii U to play it properly. Sunshine Island. This is a pretty fun game too. This time they made it more interesting, Sunshine Island, great game. Then you have Little Shop, which is no longer available. Hero Leaf Valley. That's a remake of the PS2 version. Again, kind of sucks. Then you have Grand Bazaar. I got into that. That one's kind of interesting, but thing is after a while you get used to it. I've been playing that off and on. Probably got like 40 hours in there. It's just problem with Grand Bazaar. It's a game where you can pick up and put down at any time. You can do like 5-6 days at a time, but you got to ring the damn bell all the time, and you have to use a strategy guide, which is online, find out what you're doing. Then there's Rune Factory 3, again, great game. Then there's Rune Factory, Then there's The Tale of Two Towns, great games, by the way, great games. I have the DS version and the 3DS version. The reason I have two copies is because I used one for the town Bluebell and one town for Konohana. A New Beginning, I put in 300 hours on this. I got into it one day and I started doing it again, thinking, okay, and now I'm like loving it. Then after that, there was Harvest Moon. Story of Seasons came out for the DS, and the company that made this, Marvelous or HTL or whatever, the main company that came up with Harvest Moon, they went over to do Story Seasons. They took their name, Story Seasons. So then you had The Lost Valley, which is a kind of a so-so game. It's not bad, but it ain't great. They reuse the Lost Valley characters. Then after that, so you have Skytree Village. I completed all the tasks there, but it just, they're like, it's like 4 out of 5 reviews. Most people said they reuse things from Lost Valley, and then after Skytree Village, you have the PS4 and PS and the Switch version of Light of Hope. Now, you guys are probably wondering, but that's something that's cool, and the features, the history. Now, before you go on, I'll show you a couple other things. Something I like to share with you. Okay, here we go. Yeah. All right. Great, my brush fell. Oh, well. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, so it goes like this. So I'm working on this, as you know, Stardew Valley. That's cool, farming game, right? But you're probably wondering what's in my hand. Animal Crossing. Love Animal Crossing, by the way. Got to get into its real life thing. I just don't have people to visit me, so I play it off and on. Usually I paid off my house. Chloe currently lives in a tent in my town. She doesn't get, she's got to earn the money to get out of the tent, And then I'll show you the other games I play. Light of Hope, see right here, Light of Hope complete. Right there. Isn't that great? Light of Hope, awesome game. People said, oh, it was mediocre. They reused things. You know what? Mediocre or not, it's pretty badass, right? Now you're probably thinking, oh, well, what's going to happen? Well, let me show you a couple other things, okay? I showed you Harvest Moon. I showed you Animal Crossing. I showed you this, right? This is Harvest Moon, Light of Hope, the Switch version. Animal Crossing, which I play. Now, Chloe promised me Rune Factory 5 and has delivered on it. But I have Rune Factory 4 I'm working on. That's a farming game like Stardew Valley, where you go in the mines and stuff, you can actually kill enemies and stuff, and you got a health bar. Then this one, I put in 400 hours into it. I'm still learning it, but, I love this where you got the traveling portable, you talk to the robot and your farm compacts up into your pocket, and you go to one area to the next. You can ride your horse, and then when you get there, you just go to the robot that's standing around. There's like little robots everywhere throughout the areas, and you're like, expand farm, and your expando farm comes out, and then you're just sitting there properly, like, yeah, I got the expando farm, And then the other games that I play are, I remember I started with the Game Boy Advance version, Friends of Mineral Town. Well, when Harvest Moon kept the name, Natsumi kept the name of Harvest Moon, they had to change their name from Harvest Moon. Now in Japan, it's called Bokomo Batu, or Ranch Story. But over here, they had to change the name from Harvest Moon, so they went with Story of Season, like I said. And because the Game Boy Advance was popular, or Back to Nature, they gave us the same-sex marriage version right there. Back to Nature, see? Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. If that ain't good enough, look at this. Story of Seasons, Pioneer of Olive Town. Apparently the PS4 version's been pre-ordered. Chloe used her gift card for the PS4 version of Story Season. But let me show you what she got. Sent me the other day. For me putting up with all her crap. Let me show you. it went missing? I don't get it. Where'd it go, man? Huh. That is odd, man. Where did it go? Ugh, crap. This is not cool, man. Oh, there it is. Cool. So then Chloe decides for a small Father's Day present, right? She decides to get me Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town for PS4. She gifted it to me. But it comes with a stuffed cow, a little pink cow, see? Apparently they're giving away these little pink cows, see? So apparently this is the PS4 version instead of the Switch version. So apparently she encourages me, you know. What do you get? You don't get anything. You just enjoy life. It's basically one of those farm sims where you can sit down and relax, where you don't literally have to go and murder people. Murdering rampages is what people are playing nowadays. And with this, for example, Stardew Valley, you get up at 6 in the morning, you go and you take care of your animals. Then you go into your tool sheds, make sure you see. In Stardew Valley and the original Story Seasons, when they changed over to the DS, they actually gave you these little studio shacks that you can do things with. Like in one shack, you can raise your dogs and cats. In another shack, you got the mill, which means you can mill your wheat and your rice and your grain. And another shack, you got where you can take your grapes and turn it into, or your fruits and turn it into wine. Whereas in Stardew Valley, you can put them all over the place, but I keep them in the shed. And what you do in the shed is you just basically build two sheds, one for your canning, where you can can jellies and you pickle vegetables, and then the other one you make wine and beer, you know, or ales, and you pale ale, and you just throw it into the barrel, you know, and you go on your day, you know. And then in the winter time, if you have enough money, you can grow your winter crops or all crops year round in your greenhouse, which is huge. So you just put your 6 sprinklers down, put your seed down. You go and water around the building of inside the greenhouse, and what do? You pull off your coffee beans from your coffee plants. You water your coffee plants, and then you leave, and then you go out to the day. You can go fishing. You can get achievements for fishing all the fish. You can get achievements for shipping everything. You can get achievements for a lot of things. I mean, there is Stardew Valley. There's an expansion, which means it can give you hundreds, if not thousands, of hours to complete everything. Because you're not on a time frame. They say, oh, if you need this, you do that, or you do this, or you just go ahead and you hope like heck there's um you know a um a transmute thing in your crafting for transmuting gold to iridium. I don't know if there's a transmute. See, that's the thing. They don't tell you. So basically, the iridium bars you can't. So it says, can you actually farm gold and then make them into iridium? No, you can't. See, something I learned because I haven't seen the transmute. See, they gave me the transmute from copper to iron, and then there's a transmute thing to make 5 iron bars into a gold bar. But with me, I just basically go into my storage shed and use the smelter, and I smelt my own bars. I got furnaces in there. You can have as many furnaces as you can put in there. I also got a way to make extra money on the side by putting in diamonds into my crystallarium, and then it copies the diamond over and over and over. So every like week I get 2 diamonds. So if I get more crystallariums built, I can have uh, I can have like 8 or 10 diamonds, and then I just take the diamonds and put them in the crystallariums, and eventually I can have like 100 diamonds made a day if I wanted to, and all of a sudden, it's pretty fun. So basically I don't like violent games, but this is a non-violent, just stretching. I want a cocktail myself, No Higgins, no, he emailed me. He was talking about Social Security today. When the thing is there's things like, for example, Harvest Moon, you got to basically get your farm. The original Harvest Moon, you have 3 seasons, apparently 2.5 to 3 seasons. Get your farm in order before Grandpa takes it back, or it's turned into amusement park now. Harvest Story Seasons, More Friends Mineral Town. When it came out, it was awesome, but I haven't heard anything from them ever since they brought out the remakes or the ports of the one games. They claim there's a new one, and I want to see the DS one remade. I want to see the remake made. So, look at this. People are like talking about some guy died on the forum. He's like, sent dad home this week. Really? The great booby debate? What's this? Okay. Thought I was talking about boobs in general. I was actually looking up some info this for bed this morning where I got three, someone's retirement. Really? Now people are like, congrats, you retired. Really? That's the thing. I make a comment. People are like, yeah, whatever. Now it's like deader than a mackerel, macaroni, I don't know. Yeah, well, here's the other thing, Zoe. So I emailed my advocate, right? I said, hey, I got a problem. My debit card's in the mail. Maybe you can let me know what's going on with the whatchamacallit, right? The glasses. Nothing. Thursday, no reply, nada. So today, right, I forgot to tell you the whole story. So today, Chloe basically sitting there, she's throwing a fit. She goes upstairs and I follow her and I said, look, you need to calm down. You need mental help. You need medication. She's like, fuck you. You want my computer to be fucking given to a fucking beaner. That was her reaction. I'm like, no, I don't. But if you keep causing trouble, we're going to be outed. They haven't evicted us yet. I said, they might just throw down another inspection. Oh, yeah, right. Well, Chloe, finally got a hold of the guy, and the guy told her to go in tomorrow. So I was like, you know what? You go in tomorrow, and then I go in tomorrow. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, simple. You go in and take care of your mental health problem, and then come back and be informed. Apparently, the neighbors, so, Floyd goes a fit there. First of all, tell you what happened. First of all, my opinion is like this. I got up, right? Weed whacker. Some guy was weed whacking, kicking the panel, everything else. I went to the corner. I said, walked into the bathroom. She's in the shower. And I'm like, enjoy the shower. I will. Anyway, I had 3 hours sleep, 3.5 hours. I'm bitchy. enjoy your sleep. I don't know. Weed whacker kept doing it and whacking. But finally, and I'm reading the news some more. All of a sudden, I'm sorry you're being a fucking cunt today over the fact that you didn't get any sleep and they woke you up. Goes in there and finds a look. You attack my advocates, you attack the advocates. Then she says, I'm glad your fucking card was hacked. That's what she said. And then she says, maybe I'll go and give Ebo to Moppy. Literally, she's already attacked, So I said, look, you need fucking medications. You can't fucking contain yourself. I don't need medication. Oh, yeah, I do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this position. I said, look, you're 5% to almost done. 95% clean, you tossed it. And then you went back to your lazy son of a bitch self. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so I must be full of beans is what I said, right? Then she said, did you have dinner? I said, no. Why not? Because the stove's full. So it's not my problem. There it is. So he turned around to storm out to go down. No, I'm not wearing the hospital gown. When I contacted the guy, right? The last time I was contacting the DCR, the county crisis guy, I looked out the window and Chloe was sitting by the window trying to listen in. Not going, girl. The guy says, nope, can't do anything. Chloe's got to come to me. She's all talk. So she talks to him. She says, you got to come in tomorrow, fill out paperwork. If you think medication will work, we'll help you. But you got to do something for yourself. Meanwhile, he's encouraging me to go get a restraining order. Unattaching myself to having her unattached from me is the only way to get her better, in his opinion. Yeah. Like I said, she claims she's too depressed she can't clean. Only time she will is if there's an inspection on her ass. I know, Rita, I know. So, all of a sudden she thinks I want to give the beaner, in her opinion. I called her racist punk for basically being racist. She didn't take it lightly, so she's like, you want to give everything of my stuff to the neighbor that raped me, that raped her. I, on the other hand, don't know anything. So to me, I'm like, you know what? You got to quit being an asshole is what I told her. Quit being an asshole and grow up. I am growing up. Well, first I thought, neighbor Chloe's outbursts upstairs caused something, right? Nope, inspection. Now she's like, I'll do cleaning later. Her day is 3 days before she'll panic. Until then, she'll think I should help her. I mean, literally. Today I turned around and I looked at her, right? I told the guy on the phone, Paul, that's his name, Dr. Paul. I said, the damn son of a bitch doesn't even want to pay the fucking electric bill. And he says, oh, you paid it all? I said, yeah. So then the son of a bitch thinks freeloading hot water, they're entitled to hot water. And that's what I said. And I said, my bank account was stripped. He said, oh. I said, yeah, what do we do about it, And then I said, half the time, he asked me specifically if I was eating. Because, he said, do you need to eat? And I said, no. Well, yeah. What do you mean? He said, have you been eating? I said, no. You drink ramen. Why ramen? Well, because everything else is, So, he's like, oh. Everything else is down the shitter, man. But the neighbor, she was unhappy too, you know. Well, food bank gave me 2 pork chops. I'm saving those. I got 2 out for tonight, and it was actually 4 chops out there small. But Chloe's like, so I bought some corn dogs, right? I got to tell you the story, Zoe. I bought some corn dogs, right? Corn dogs. Put them in the freezer here. Chloe goes in and says, I bought them. I'm like, no, the receipt says mine. But I bought them. Well, she was telling me the wings that she bought were hers, right? Which, by the way, are those wings even so in the freezer to cheat them without me knowing? Okay. So everything I buy, right? She tries to turn it saying, oh, no, I bought those. Well, where's the proof? Well, I bought them. Well, you know. So today, he asked me about that. He says what she's doing is she's trying to steal from you legally by saying you're too stupid. And he basically called her a criminal a mental criminal mastermind, you know. I mean, literally, you know, talking about the food, you know, and I was like, really? Oh, you heard her. Hurry up, get off YouTube so I can eat dinner. I game on my TV, you know. Well, I mean, literally, they turned around today and they said Chloe has Medicaid now, thanks to apparently the mental health people there pulled some strings. The DCR and everyone else basically pulled so many strings to get her Medicaid because she, you know, they think she needs to be medicated, but they also think she needs to be in hospital. Fortunately, she gets Medicaid as you know. Once she only mental Medicaid, she's like, I'll use it if you give me. What was I gonna say? I got up for something, Zoe. What was it I was getting? Toothpick, maybe? No, I got the toothpick already. It was, I don't know. I'll figure it out later. So she turned. I have these brain farts, you know, but no, she turns around, you know, and she's like, "Well, the corn dogs are mine. And these are mine, and that mine, and I bought them." And I finally said, "You know what? No wonder I'm fucking broke all the time. You keep stealing everything." I put my foot down today, right? So I said, "Look, you need fucking mental help, or you're fucking out of here." Would you really kick me out? Yes. You fucking steal, you lie, and you fucking cheat. What do you mean? Telling me that my food is your food and go eat ramen because of it. And then when she dirties everything, including my own pot, she's like, you know, I'm going to bed. So to me, I'm like, that's no point of living this way, you know. So I pulled her out, you know. So she calls her mom, and her mom said, you know what? Rita has a right to ask you to leave because you're not fucking doing anything. You're a slob and you won't get help and you need a payee. Well, how do I get in touch with Social Security to get a payee? That was what she asked me today, our group home. I mean, literally, she always does this, but she doesn't instigate the program to get help. And I finally said, look, I've done enough. I'm not doing it. Like today, she's yelling and screaming at me. I could have had mental help, but you turned me down on the phone. I gave her the Google voice number. I said, my private phone number is mine. Well, I thought it was mine. So my phone is now your fucking phone. I mean, what type of fucking criminal are you? I'm not a criminal. Yeah, I like Jim Beam and Woodford. Woodford's great. Just couldn't remember what I was gonna do. Got up for a reason and had brain fart again. Hmm. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we've had like 10 days in the roasting pans in the dishwasher for 10 days. I don't think I've even throw it together. You know what was that I was looking for? See, I keep eating them. So last night I had some leftover bacon that I cooked up. So she's basically counting everything she has. She's like, I need 7 days of food, and I can eat hamburgers next Wednesday, which is the food bank date. Next Wednesday, so in 6 days. I, on the other hand, I'm like, The other day, I got to tinkle real quick. Did I tell about the other day? So the other day, I was minding my own business, Zoe, and I was hungry. And all the dishes were dirty. And she's like, I'm not cooking. I'm not doing it. You can go hungry. So I raided the pantry and found some raisins to eat. I don't know how. Woodford? Yeah, Woodford. Woodford Reserve. I think I have an empty bottle of that down below. Let's see. I got some, maybe a shot or two of Daniel's Tennessee honey sitting down there. See? I got a shot or two in this half gallon of Jim Beam. See, that's my emergency last resort, which I don't need. And then this is empty, so I guess I drank it. Woodford. That's some good smooth stuff. Wish we had more Woody. There any more Woody? Oh. And the stuff that really does a number on someone's thingy. Check this out. Hooker Nose by the Jim Beam Corporation. Before you ask, I'm showing you the picture. 126 proof. Right there on the label. 126 proof. I drink it, but you know what? It's too damn expensive in my opinion, so I try to cut it out. I used to get a whole bottle every month from Chloe for her contribution to the electric bill at times, but the last couple months she's been stingy on anything. So yeah, the guy basically turned around Zoe and thought that she needs a payee too because she can't manage her money. Hold on a second, I got tinkle. I was trying to remember something, but I can't. I don't remember. I just can't remember. Anyways, I just can't remember Zoe. But yeah, she turned around, and it was just combative all day. Give me my crap, I told her out. Well, the advocate, the DCR guy says you're not file a restraining order to get rid of her. She's not willing to go out herself. She's clinging on to whatever power she has, and she doesn't like it. I mean, literally. First, I thought, oh, Chloe's been put on notice, Nope, it's inspection. Now she's in her room like, yep, pretending she has an invisible clitoris. That's the joke between me and Gabby. No, well, I keep it down there, so if I need it, it's better to hide it down there than to go look for it. But the thing is it's not really a bar. It's my husband had the bar. I keep it under there due to the fact that it keeps me from going under there and getting liquor when I want it. The thing is liquor is expensive here. But still. How you doing, Ebo? See, you got your food all new, and you're a happy little pooper, aren't you? Well, I am definitely one of the kind, Oh, by the way, my cousin Dinky, she has never emailed me ever since she called me a moocher like 3 weeks ago or something. I mean, literally every day, no reply from her. It's like she went under the radar. She called me a fucking moocher, a bloody fucking moocher. Now she's not even talking. Great. What's this news article? In a news article, do I need to eat some more celery again? That's the thing. Celery contains a lot of water and there's very little empty calories in it, but it is healthy. Thing is, you're supposed to use a dipping sauce with it. I was looking for a dipping sauce eventually. Little cup and don't know if I have enough ranch dressing. I'm one of a kind. I hope I am. Ugh, come on, dude. It doesn't take. See, listen to this. Here's what's going on, okay, for the news. It says here Clarence Thomas basically voted 6-3 on the support court decision, striking down a type of gun carry, is embraced by only 6 states, will have the effect of making all sorts of regulations across the country vulnerable to new legal challenges. Thomas changed the test to. See, I'll tell you what's going on here, okay? Change the test courts are used when analyzing the constitutionality of such regulations. Only firearm regulations are consistent with this nation's historical tradition. Comply with the Second Amendment protections. Second Amendment protections. He wrote, an assertion that puts in jeopardy any restriction that does not have a historical parallel to the nation's founding. The new standard will change the legal playing field around all gun laws. There are cases already in motion where courts will now adjust the approach and raise the threshold that government will have to overcome in defending their gun safety laws. The ruling will also likely prompt a bevy of new legal challenges, with gun rights proponents now able to push more aggressive arguments of why all restrictions should be shot down. However, when it comes to criminals, they're not going to allow it. If they allow criminals to have guns, what's the point? Up for grabs are not just public carry laws like the New York regime before the court, virtually any other type of gun regulation, including age-based regulation, restriction on certain types of firearms, and limit on high-capacity magazines, will now be viewed by the courts in a harsher light. The old test versus the new test, you know. Let me see. Instead, the government must affirmatively prove that its firearms regulation is part of the historical tradition that delimits the outer bounds of the right to keep and bear arms. Courts are required to assess whether modern firearm regulations are consistent with the Second Amendment's text and historical. Well, if that's the case, they can always turn around and give everyone a fucking musket. That works. Now let's continue. Damn it, I wasn't done with this. Damn it, son of a bitch. Here we go. Courts are required to say, okay. First, they wrote, if a gun law addressing a social problem that always existed in the 18th century, it is evidence that modern law is unconstitutional if there is no similar regulation then. Likewise, said if the societal problem with historical address and use type of regulation different from the ones now before court, then it is also evidence that a modern law is unconstitutional. When confronting such present-day firearm regulations, this historical inquiry the courts must conduct will often involve reasoning by analogy, commonplace task for any lawyer or judge, like analogical reasoning, determining whether historical regulation is proper. Analog or distinctive modern firearm regulation requires determination of whether the two regulations are relevantly similar. What the ruling puts in jeopardy. Thursday ruling meaning the courts can find any gun law constitutional have to be consistent with how firearms were regulated historically. That means the states and localities run into legal trouble whenever they try to enact a gun law that does not have a historical parallel, particularly if the law is trying to address a problem that arguably has existed for generations. A gun law case already been appealed to the Supreme Court, which is California and their magazine bans. federal bump stock bans, and yada yada. New York decision will also affect what happens next. California case with states' prohibition in the age of keeping semi-automatic rifles out of the hands of 21-year-olds or over under 21. It also may have implications for federal gun safety package Congress is poised to pass. If and when those modest gun safety measures are challenged in court, I'll explain a few things in a minute. And a whole lot of existing laws might be confronted with the new lawsuits after it was struck down. Restrictions on sensitive places again. Says defender, yeah, okay. Although the historical record deals relatively few 18th and 19th century sensitive places where weapons were altogether prohibited, legislation, assemblies, polling places, and courthouses were also where no disputes regarding the lawfulness of such prohibitions. Therefore, can assume it's settled that these locations were sensitive, which arm carrying could be prohibited with the Second Amendment. Regulations are saying that it's okay to walk into a God's church, bars, eateries, and more. I'm sorry to say, but I think bars need to be stuck, basically blocked. Stephen Bearer said his story only approach is both legally flawed and ripe with practical problems. Law addressing repeating crossbows, lancy gaze, dirks, dagies, skeins, still ladders, and other ancient weapons will be little help to courts confronting modern problems. Thomas' opinion, deeply impractical, imposes a task on the lower courts that judges cannot easily accomplish anything. Court insists that judges have lawyers really nearly exclusively on historical interpret Second Amendment. It's troubling. And most important, the court's approach permits judges to reach outcomes they prefer and cloak those outcomes in languages of history. Giordiata gives judges license to reject certain evidence in a way that will allow them to pick their friends out of history crowds. Where the vast of Americans back then lived on farms and small towns. Addressing Thomas' example of historical sensitive places, what meant subways, nightclubs, movie theaters, and sports stadiums, the court does not say. Sorry to say, but I don't feel safe going to a fucking grocery or a sensitive place. I mean, if everyone's gonna be fucking packing heat in a grocery store, it doesn't even pay to go grocery shopping. Anyone have any comments on that? I know Gabby probably like, woohoo! I don't know about Gabby, but I wouldn't want to do it. Where's my little ramekin? Unless Chloe used it again. Chloe. It was in here, wasn't it? Yeah. Is there any ranch dressing? There is. We should look. Yeah. July 15th. Now we'll debate this. I'll tell you my thoughts. First of all, I don't mind being pro-gun. I do think pro-gun means that you shouldn't be running around with assault weapons. I mean, you can't just conceal carry a rifle, and you can't. I mean, back in the day, the sheriff told me I couldn't pack a 12 gauge under my duster. It was unconstitutional. There was no concealed carry shotguns. It was all concealed carry pistols. Now, how is the law going to interpret? How is the law going to interpret short barrel shot-off shotgun? Show you why. I'll explain why. Simple. There's a simple discussion. Basically, what they're saying is they're historical facts. The right to bear arms will not be infringed, right? What the Supreme Court's doing is opening up opening up the door for trouble. Think of it, Zoe. You're opening the door for pure trouble. When you have a concealed carry permit, which now they're saying they're invalid, you can carry concealed carry and it's fine. Or New York can say, okay, we're restructuring it. Anyone can get approved for a permit if they pass the FBI background check, right? That's fair. But they think that passing an FBI background check now is against the Constitution. That's infringing on one's rights. But they don't have any problems with telling a mentally ill person you can't have a gun. They think infringement is any mentally ill person can have a gun, you see? Taking away the mentally ill person's gun rights just says it opens the door for other trouble. I'll explain it. One, back in the day when I was carrying concealed, police officer would stop me and he'd ask me on the street, Miss Rita, are you concealed carrying? Because I had a permit and they knew it. Yes, it's on my left hip. Covered in a trench coat, right? Yeah, well, here's the problem with carrying a firearm, Joey. It opens up the door for a lot of problems. You see, say you walk down the street, right? Let me give you an example. You're walking down the street, right? And all of a sudden, a friend of yours, well, you're with them, you're basically polite and everything, and your friend's carrying a gun. And your friend says to the officer, what do you want? Quit harassing me, blah, blah, blah. He pulls out, fires at the officer's head. That's what happened now. You can be walking down the street, you can be like, and you can be walking down the street, going into Walmart, Target, or somewhere, and you're getting ready to get a cart, and a lady says, no, white cracker, that's my cart. I don't know if you're white or black, but I'm just saying, it could be basically everyone's armed themselves, and now they think they have a right to defend themselves, even over a shopping cart. And there's people out there that think that this means they can carry a gun and rob you at gunpoint. There's nothing that can be done. This means as long as everyone has a gun, they can go rob your house if pandemic happens or food shortages. What I'm making, Zoe, is country is doing this for a reason. Think of it. They're trying to cause civil war. They're trying to cause civil war. Think of what happens, okay? Let's just do a hypothetical. Hypothetical. What if there's another January 6th, Zoe? This time, you're all packing heat. What's that tell you? Think about it. It's going to take a rocket scientist to say what I'm thinking. Country. Anyone. Anyone can kill someone else. Doesn't matter. And bars, that's like the most sensitive place you can go to. I don't want someone walking into a bar completely changed, telling the barkeeper, give me a drink or else. And next thing you know, the barkeeper's been shot. I mean, think of it this way. In the state of Washington, churches, federal buildings labeled no guns, right? Now they can turn around, Zoe. In Washington State, I'm telling you this. In Washington State, they're going to sit there and say, I'm challenging this law. And people will say, well, what are you challenging? No firearms in a mental hospital. No firearms in the hospital. No firearms in bars. It's unconstitutional. What if a guy's sitting around, Zoe, and he gets rowdy? Next you know, it plugs someone because he can't get his next drink. I mean, what are we? We're all innocent going back to the Old West? All I'm saying, sweetie, is there's going to be shit hitting the fan soon. Who emailed me this time? Can't someone let me eat my celery? Amazon. Again, old lady's like, I use YouTube. You know what? That's where I basically. I mean, literally. And that means anyone and everyone, you look at someone funny, they'll shoot you. I mean, put it this way, Zoe. Doesn't matter what state you're in now, it's the Old West. What if you walk down the street, right, in Chicago? And you're getting lesbian and trans friends all get shot because the armed hoodlum says it's not natural. Courts will look the other way. They'll be like, oh, you just got rid of someone who's an abomination. I mean, literally, that's what's going to happen. Back in the day, right, in the Old West, I mean, look at it from my point of view. This is just basically a turkey shoot. It's a way to cleanse the world of them and make it worse. Putin and Xi said it best themselves, Zoe. Yeah, used guns. New guns are not available, if you didn't know, honey. New guns aren't available because new guns are sold out. They can't make them fast enough. There's not enough workers. And yet, we're going to have a bunch of outlaws. You know what Russia said? Russia and China said, this is a way to arm Americans so they don't have to pay China's debt. See, we owe so much money to China, they want to get paid. What the Supreme Court did was said, tweaked their thumb at it and said they're never going to get paid. So China is now angry. So because of that, we armed outlaws so they can defend this country. A lot more people are going to be going to heaven. Exactly. They could just turn around and say, we'll let the bank fail. We'll just keep our house anyways. We don't need taxes. Stock probably 6 months minimum if you can. Eat fresh stuff first, canned stuff second. Thing is, it doesn't matter because now they're just giving open game to anyone to use the gun for anything and everything. Even if the Great Depression happens again, the problem is no one cares. See where I'm going with this? No one cares due to the fact, Zoe, that the American people now has the rights to shoot others, it seems. I mean, they might be murdered, but they'll be like, oh, you're right, Your Honor, that was a freak. I had to get rid of him. Okay, granted. You're free to go. I mean, literally, you could just go in and basically decide that they want to take out blue states now. These redneck hilljacks will want to go march into other states, I mean, literally. And the red states, they're going to say, we got the guns, we're not taking our shit, and we're not going to pay our taxes for the freeloaders. Oh, you're a baby popper. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, well, got rid of them. I mean, we don't know what the hell is going to happen in this world. And as I said, it looks pretty damn bad in my opinion, Zoe. I mean, literally. I mean, I support guns myself, but the world's going to go down the shitter, I tell you, fast. The world's going to go down the shitter, I tell you. I mean, today's tactics is, I don't know what to make of it, I mean, the state of Washington, I'd like to see what's going on with the Washington state gun news. They want to ban AR-15. Let's see, anything? Let's see what's going on. So basically, let me explain the whole gun thing, okay? Supreme Court turned around and did this on purpose, Zoe. They literally did it so they can basically put fear into people. Think of it this way. Russia and China basically said, okay, that the country will fail. The country will default in their credit. And then war will be imminent in this country. Why? Because there's too many greedy assholes that think that they're entitled, and if they own a gun, then they can get their entitlements and kill people to get it. You know, they just walk in here and plug me just because they can, right? Truth is what's happening is they did this on purpose. If you read the Book of Mormon, right? The Book of Mormon basically talks about how a king was ruling for 400 years. Then it went to judges. Where in the Old Testament and the Hebrew Testament, it was judges followed by a king, right? Well, think of it this way. And the Supreme Court is basically a bunch of judges. They look over the law, they enforce the law, right? This is like the Book of Mormon and the books of Judges and stuff like that from the Old Testament, right? Now, because a king came in, the king could be corrupt, the king could be non-corrupt. Thing is, back in the day, there was one sovereign power, the king, or the empress, right? Or the emperor, or a ruling class, right? One person. What's happened in this country is pretty bad, okay? Putin and China turned around and literally said, Zoe, literally said, that basically one man has the ultimate power to make things happen. Now they could go and vote some things in, and let constituents like Parliament, but to have a U.S. Senate and a U.S. Congress, and they live by the old rules, which is crumbling and collapsing this country. That's the truth of the matter. For some ways, if you look at the old system, it's gone. It's dead. So what does the Supreme Court do? They don't want the old system, and they don't want China to invade to take us all back in chains and put us to work. So what do? America gets armed. Oh yeah, we're going to arm ourselves and take care of this problem. Meanwhile, Texas wants to secede. You didn't know that was yesterday's news. But at the same fucking time, Russia says the old system, the old American ways they're still focusing on the old ways, right? Now, the old ways is the old ways, but think about it. You can sit there and say, well, if we don't have a president that doesn't do it. The thing is, eventually this country will go to an autocracy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, you get one man with enough power, he's going to basically dissolve Parliament, Congress. And he'll do it too because it's his job. The problem is, look at the big picture here. Why is China saying this in Russia? Look around. You got the poor not working. The United States sold all their jobs upriver mostly, except for companies, right? You go to work every day. You got the waitresses and the people that work in the restaurants, right? Have you noticed? Okay, have you noticed? I used to live in a town, right? It was called Linwood, Washington. You go to Linwood, Washington, it is purely restaurants. Look around here. We got apartment complex. You got Denny's. You got Burger King. You got Jimbo's. You got Taco Bell, Taco Time, Taco Del Mar, Applebee's. I mean, 50, 60, 70 restaurants, right? Few gas stations, maybe 10 or 12 gas stations in Linwood. A shopping mall with more food courts and clothes shopping, GameStop, etc. And then you have the occasional medical building, which has 5 or 6 floors with special doctors that say, oh, we work at this hospital or we could work at Harborview. Meanwhile, you go downtown Seattle, it's restaurants. Back in the day, in the 1800s and the Industrial Revolution and stuff like that, we had factories. We had people working. I mean, they say, oh, that's in a different state, but look at it from our point of view. Boeing makes airplanes, or did. I think they closed up out here. But Boeing made airplanes, right? And then there's people that want to work on ferries, so they work on boats, so right? Look at the Edmonds. Police station, few shops, that's a tourist shops. Few shops in Edmonds, it's a tourist town. But compiled with mostly restaurants. So they're saying, man, restaurants fail all the time. Yet they're saying one country's got too many restaurants, not enough shops. And the shops that are there, oh, we're a tourist town. We're just going to jack the price up tenfold, which they do. But where's the factories? You get an occasional worker here in the harbor and the dock here that's got to fix the boat engines and repair the hulls and stuff, but you don't hear much about them. Think about it. You got companies that say, oh, yes, I'm a dock worker. I go and pick up the loads off the truck, move the crane over and load it on, or, from the ship, move it over to a cargo truck, and the truck pulls it out. That's my job every day for 12 hours. Okay, cool. So he sits on a tower and he's like, Meanwhile, he gets hazard pay being up on one of those giant cranes. Yeah, nowadays, you got the hotel industry failing. They keep raising their prices. You got the restaurants trying to stay open, all these restaurants everywhere. You got shopping malls trying to stay in business. But what do we truly produce? Think about it. I got to tinkle with it. Think about it. Our stuff comes from China, Vietnam. What's up, huh? Daddy used to make jokes all the time. He used to say, punk shit too, punk shit too. He was never party. He always joked about it. So you were laying around, you're like, I'm a little donkey. Daddy always joked about punk the shit too. Oh, what we got here? Another loaf of bread and everything in here. Just some garbage, I think. Another organic thing if you're looking for there. Yeah, I was just seeing what the goodies
give us much.
Well, at least something that lasts longer. And they gave you some, you'll see.
Some stuff. Are you going to send a video? Because we do dinner soon.
Are you cleaning your room? No,
yes, I am. Okay, we're doing dinner soon.
Yeah, well, I'm not done yet. I'm actually talking. For a few more minutes and I'm gaming. I actually need to change my underwear too, socks. I can't believe the dirt water the other day. Damn, that was nasty. and see how dirty that was. Probably all that sweat drying. Anyways, I gotta change my underwear eventually.
Alright, well, I'll be back out soon to make some dinner.
What? Whatever, your thing's still frozen in the block of ice.
I have ways of thawing it out quicker.
Try to email her mom. She ordered this big tea that I emailed Trish. Hey, you expect it? Yeah, everyone did. I don't know if it's random this time. That's what she said. She told me it's random. What says their package? I can't believe that with inspection. Again, fourth inspection this year. They're really targeting us.
You didn't really have to jump on me about the cleans because I asked a question because I was wanting to make
You were hungry, right?
Yes.
No, well, then cook your dinner as usual. Mine takes longer. Yeah, well, sorry about that, Zoe. You're her. Hurry up and get off YouTube. I want to eat. You see, well, let me tell you.
I didn't say, I just asked, like.
I have something to say anyway, so, you know. I know it's getting late where you're at, Zoe. I think it's, 3 hours? Uh-oh. Here we go. More stuff going down the pipe now in the news. So apparently Ohio State, being a bunch of douchebags, the college, of course, turned around and basically decided to copyright the word "the." So they now own the copyright "the." So it says here that the Senate, by the way, the Senate, everyone, passed the gun restriction thing. More deal includes millions for a mental health, school safety, crisis intervention. And incentive for states include juvenile records. Also makes significant changes in the process when someone aged 18 to go buy a fire alarm, close the so-called boyfriend loop home. There were a few dozen people in the Senate gallery ahead of the final vote. There were gun violence surveillance. Vote on the federal gun safety bill came out the same day the Supreme struck down the New York Gun and Law Act a century ago. The ruling highlights the conflicting political force around the issue at all levels of government. Critical vote that required GOP support. Gun safety bill had moved a step closer to passage in the Senate, but with 65-34, 15 GOP senators joining Democrat to break the filibusters. 4 of the 10 original Republicans are retiring: Tomey, Portman, Burr, and Blunt. Majority Leader McConnell, Joni Ernst, and Shelley Moore. Other noted GOPs include Lisa Murkowski and Todd Young of Indiana. Were not part of the 10 to support the framework. And they're up for November. So they just basically backdoored it by basically, North Carolina Senator Chris Murphy, lawmakers now race to pass the bill before they leave Washington for July 4th. In fact, the bill text was finalized. Legislation now appears poised to pass the Senate's major victory. So, key sticking points, yes, far too long games in Washington. Casting blame and tradition. A key provision in the bill includes $750 to help states implement and run crisis intervention programs. That ain't going to work good. Money can be used to implement and manage red flag programs, which can temporarily prevent individual crisis from accessing firearms through court order. Boyfriend loophole barred individuals where crimes against married partners, domestic violence. Laws in retroactive will, however, allow those convicted of misdemeanor domestic violence the gun rights after 5 years to commit other. Oh yeah, bill goes after individuals who sell guns as a primary source of income but have previously invaded registering as federally licensed firearms dealers. It also increased funding for mental health programs and social security. The GOP in the House is divided by the bill. But top House Republican leaders are lining up in opposition to the bill and urging their members to vote no even as the Senate moves towards passage of the bill this week. Plan to vote for it in the Democrat-controlled chamber is expected to be able to pass the legislation once it passes the Senate. Promised to swiftly bring it to the floor. At least they did that, so we can send it to President Biden's desk. While more is needed, the package must quickly become law to help protect our children. Why? They just said every kid in America can carry a gun. That means anyone who's freaking 13 years old can pack a 6-shooter and be spitting in a spittoon, because now it's a law that we're going back to the old 11s. Yep. Oh, yeah. So the Supreme Court turns around and says that the Congress and the Senate and the state legislature should be managing guns. This was Samuel Alito arguing, New York leaders. Yeah, we know this. The Supreme Court had decided, this is by Yvette Clark. Absolutely shameful. The Supreme Court has decided guns are more important than lives in this country. That's what I told you guys. Must unite the address that passed additional gun safety legislation. Yeah, Iowa, they were New York Republicans, praised the decision. Claudia Tenney is bringing at least righted a wrong against all New Yorkers, affirming that no government has the right to trample on our constitutionality. Gubernatorial Andrew Giuliani applauded today. Yeah, and you know what will happen? These people will sit there and say a cop infringed their rights and the cop will be shot. They'll start targeting the cops. That's what I said. I mean, trust me, it's going to happen, I bet. Anyways, Zoe, you left. I gotta leave. It's time for me to leave. I gotta get to my game. I don't have a right to keep tying up the YouTube. I mean, we heard the news. Opinion is, before I finish up, because this is my last part of my saying for the day, my thought of the day is this: is Russia thinks we can't handle ourselves, nor does China. And they may be right. I mean, think of it. Let me put it to you this way. I know Pee Wee's probably going to be watching this later, and being like, yes, I can get a gun now, maybe. I'm joking, sis. I really am. But honestly, I want people to think about it. It doesn't matter whether you're Democratic or Republican. I don't give a shit what you are. But it means they're going to open the doors to target the elderly. Guy walks in the clinic and sees old grandma taking up too much time. He'll be like, boom! All right, I'm next. I need help. But you just murdered. Oh, well. Next. Oh, hi, Doc. Can you help me? You murdered 2 people? I mean, literally, we could get to the point where they'll be needing more security guards at hospitals. Now, before we go into it, it goes like this, okay? The government can't control itself, right? They want to put guns into it because they're afraid China is going to invade. You know what? Let China invade. China's got the nukes. We got the nukes. If one country nuked another country, we'd all be dead anyways. There'd be a nuclear holocaust. But thing is the country's going to collapse for 2 reasons if it does. And no amount of food's going to save you. That is simple. You can't defend yourself. And you can't eat guns. Oh, well, we'll just go out in the country, kill something. Yeah, until all the deer are missing, then you're starving because the deer population's been gone and the rabbit population and the dog population. When they're hungry and they have guns and they think they got to eat something, Fido's going to be on the menu, I tell you. Some guy's mule's going to be on the menu. Chloe's family's horses are going to be on the menu. Trust me, it's going to be basically a slaughter fest when China basically can't get paid. The entire U.S. economy is going to collapse to the point where we're going to be worse off than the Soviet Union. And that is why you need to read books now about the Soviet Union and what to expect. I mean, I enjoy a good farming simulation game, but I also realize the farming simulation game is a escape from reality. But think of what's happening, okay? You got gun owners basically tooting their horn. Now they want to go after every state, saying it's unconstitutional. The criminals want to carry guns openly too, even though they have misdemeanors and felonies. They think it's wrong, right? The reason the law was put into place where criminals weren't going to get a gun was simple. They had to change the laws after Kennedy was plugged, I think. So, so what is China saying? China and Russia is completely right. There's 2 problems with this country. 3 if you get to it. They know that they can just go drop bombs and take care of all the gun owners and be like, done. But the truth is why are they doing this shit? I'll tell you why. It's because you got one guy, right? He rules over Russia. He's got some little cohorts inside his parliamentary building, right? They bring it to him and say, oh, maybe we need to do this or that. Maybe that'll help lighten the load of the Russians by giving more technology or incentives or producing more oil. Russia is a country where everyone basically sits there and works. There's accountants, there's machinists, there's waitresses, there's librarians, there's teachers. They all get a good income and they don't worry. They get their own little apartment, everything's taken care of. But here, we're at a class war. And that's the problem with this country. I don't support communism, but think of what's going on. Every country in Europe, every Australian, every Oceanic country, most of the Asian countries, if you're not communist, those countries are worse off than the communists. The communists have brought the people together. They say, oh, well, we don't like it. But you know what? What they hate is the fact that we don't truly have freedom. We live by states putting in more rules and more rules and more rules and more rules and laws and laws. Oh, you buy pipe tobacco, it's against the law. You're going to get 25 years each or it's 5 years per 10 if you order it online. 5 years each plus tax evasion. So you get 20 years for each. It's 10 years per 10. So if you get 4 10s, that's 4 years. 40 years, So basically, they're basically saying pay up, right? So what are they then holding the country? They know America's going to falter because they don't have the money. You see where I'm going? They know America has to subside with Russia. Russia sits there, or China sits there and goes, "Oh look, China's like a woman. You like the looky, you pay up, or no sucky. And what's America doing? They're going. Meanwhile, the woman's giving the United States blue balls because the United States is giving blue balls on the fact that we don't produce anything. We get our grain, our cereal grain, from Ukraine. Did you know that? We get our cereal grain from Ukraine. Yeah. They bring it in by the ships, and grain ships, and then turned into cereal. We can make grain, but the stupid Americans don't think anything of it. So much farmland. People can go back to farming and they'd be better off in this country. But no. Instead, only certain states have oil. Only certain states have coal. The rest of the states, doctors' offices, clinics, hospitals, restaurants, maybe a few motels and hotels. That's it. Do the math. Why do they say we're failing? Tell you why. Now, one president, they call it, and everyone loves this country for it, the checks and balances, right? There is no checks and balances. The bullshit lie. President sits there and says, "Oh, look, I'm the diplomat. I got to call people. Yeah, I got to call people. I'm behind the resolute desk," or presidential. Read the history books of George Washington to FDR. They did more for this country than our current jackass presidents. 2. Well, people are dwelling on what George Washington did. It doesn't make the country go round and round. It cripples the country. We're basically going backwards. They want to arm us. They think, Supreme Court thinks eventually it'll be the court's job to rule everything, not Congress and the Senate. Think of it. Eventually, the Supreme Court's going to turn around and say, "Oh, that bill that Senate and House passed and President signed is unconstitutional. We're shooting it down within 36 hours." I mean, they're going to be basically like in the Book of Mormon or the book of in the Old Testament Judges. They're going to shoot it down faster and faster, leaving Congress and the Senate to be useless. I mean, we got one guy like Putin in China. And Xi sits there and he says, "Oh, we got a problem with American anarchists." Okay, let's just say one of them controls America, right? I'm saying hypothetically, right? Or let's just say they turn around and they look at the situation, right? Let's just say, there's one guy running things, right? One guy, one dictator, and he sits there and he says, "Oh, all these people have guns and they're killing people. I make a rule," because it's one man, "that all their guns are swept up." So he sends the army in to either get your guns back or they kill you. And next thing you know, he's standing around with maybe 2 or 3 million people left after a great purge because he murdered them all. So one guy, right, over here, Supreme Court's useless. President's useless. The vice president's useless. The Supreme Court, I said, it's useless. President's useless. Vice president's useless. The House of Representatives useless. And Senate's useless. And then everyone says, "Oh, praise the Republicans. They're great. We're going to go back to the old ways." No, you're going to basically see shit's going to hit the fan pretty fast. And this just changes the playing field right away. Yeah. Corporations, the thing is, the corporations are going to fail. The thing is let's look at it this way. Since you're set on a time to go to bed soon, you see, corporations may own the corporations, but you know what the problem with the corporations is? Corporations are going bankrupt, Zoe. Look at it from my perspective. Why are they going bankrupt? Oh, well, I don't know why they're going bankrupt, Rita. Because they're assholes? Because they're going bankrupt, sweetie. Because they're not getting anything. The stock market ain't working for these big corporations right now. Why? Here it goes like this. China's like, we have your country, we have our Chinese people at home. Until you pay, no products made. Meanwhile, China's sitting there, no products made. Same with the rest of the world. Meanwhile, over here, the corporations are panicked because everything's being sucked up. You sit there and say, oh, well, I'll just buy an American thing. You know, pay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Time will come to pay up, healthcare corporation and try to get away with not paying for your pre-existing anything or make Medicare too confusing. Oh, yeah, they are. They're making it that way. Did you know Medicare doesn't cover glasses, hearing aids, or dentures? Yeah. You got to get a state program for that if you didn't know. The Great Resignation. Did you watch that the Great Resignation? You mean you watched the Norwegian guy? He calls it that, the Great Resignation. Corporations already failing. The Great Resignation. Yeah, they're failing because they see the thing is China knew how to play their cards right. They kept loaning money to the federal government, thinking that the federal government would step in eventually and say these corporations are Chinese property or these corporations are, By the way, when they send product overseas, all they pay is import fees. They pay a small export fee and they pay a small import fee to bring it to this country, right? So think of it. They don't pay a goods and service tax. They don't pay an import fee. They don't pay anything, Zoe. They pay nada. Did you know that? They don't pay anything in taxes. They see if they ship their products over. See, the thing is the President Clinton signed it, saying if you want to go overseas, you can. Why did they do that? Less on the corporate tax, or zero corporate tax. By bringing it in, the corporations get more money, but at the cost of the American people. You're like, really? Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Corporate taxes. So without taxes, the states have to pick up the thing by charging a little more to the fact it's a specialty imported. There goes my glasses again. It's dissolving quicker again. Not old enough for Medicare, similar. Yeah, well, the thing is the Lions Club's supposed to get back to me. The agency's not doing it because they're tired of Chloe's bullshit. That's the truth. So, anyways, I'm gonna have to go soon. Soon as you leave, Zoe, I'll leave. But no, basically, the thing is one man can get more done than the entire United States government. And that's what the Xi and Putin was saying, literally. He was saying, look, one country any country that has a parliament and a prime minister and a monarchy needs to fail due to the fact that the monarchy can't keep anything in line and the check, and the prime minister can't do shit, and everyone else can't do crap. Get rid of it all and let one person rule for the country. I mean, literally, that's basically the truth, and the entire pudding is they want this their way, and Americans are now arming themselves like, fuck you, you're going to give us money or we're going to. I mean, think of it this way. The United States could turn around and get a tyrant president who says, you loan us all money or we're going to nuke you. Next thing you know, he nukes the country, the world, right? Then what's the problem when the entire country's nuked? Because one president's a dick and he wants to rule the entire with an iron fist, saying you will give us money or else. I mean that it could happen, and these countries need to be on a defensive with this. I mean we don't know what's going to happen. I want to share that with you all. Yeah. So, with all that said, everyone, people say, oh, we're going to protect ourselves from China and Russia. They did this because the Supreme Court wants to basically say that we're protected and China can't touch us. Truth is, China and Russia can nuke us and we're done. Yeah. See you later. Maybe tomorrow. I'll also give you guys an update on what's going on with Chloe. If there's a Chloe update about cleaning. Let's hope she gets it done. She's got 6 days to max it out. So, and then meanwhile, for the rest of you out there, thanks for tuning in. Just remember, stockpile still. Keep updated on the latest news and stuff. I hope you have a great night. It's late, so I'm logging off myself since there's 5 people watching. And Zoe left, and Chris left, and apparently there's no one else. No one's watching, so for the rest of you out there, please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions, the like, subscribe button, hold some funding for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. Hit the bell notification. Hit the subscribe button. It helps with the algorithm. Thanks for watching, everyone. And please leave the comments nice as always. Thank you so much, and God bless you in everything you do.